And we are live. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Bardic Inspiration Podcast. I'm your host, Brad the Bard, and today it brings me great pleasure to bring Brandon, Johnny Watts, and Nathyn from By the Wave, a new podcast that you guys should all go subscribe to shortly. And before we begin, I want to give a gigantic shout out to our sponsor from Patreon, Vedinian. If you guys like sci-fi, horror, thrillers, and mysteries and action and all that good stuff, go check out his website. Links in the description. There's some good stuff there. What is up, guys?
What's going on, man?
Hey, man. How are you?
Nothing much. Enjoying this heat.
It's not cold out here.
No.
Yeah, I mean, like, the mosquitoes aren't bothering me, though. I'm
a little bit, yeah.
The mosquitoes aren't bothering me. This is the
iffy.
first time I've ever done the podcast outside.
Really?
Because I've done it, like, outside in a school bus a bunch of times.
Yeah. Windows down.
Yeah.
Hey.
But, like, what's different about this? I think there's a lot more...
Well, the difference is I had professionals to work with to make it really secure and everything's
because we don't have masks on, we have to be outside.
Oh, yeah. Social distancing.
Yeah.
We backed out.
We're sitting,
to see.
I was going to say, this is probably going to be a really good podcast, all things considered, because I'm working with you guys that know how to set up a scene, and it's really well lit, as you can see.
We tried.
It's nighttime, and we're outside.
That's true.
We tried.
I like the lighting behind us. Yeah, it's a nice look to this.
I think so too. I think it looks great. Make sure if you guys have any questions, anyone watching out there, Q&A panel's up. We can answer any specific questions.
Please.
So, tell me about this new podcast that you guys are starting. When's it coming out? When am I going to be on it?
That's a good question.
What's it going to be about?
That's a good question.
I don't think anybody really has the true answer to that just yet.
Boo.
But I know.
Yeah.
But everything's floating down the river pretty nice.
It's the anticipation factor, you know?
If
We're kind of working towards something.
If I could have everything perfect, I would have wanted it up in like 2 weeks.
Nice.
I know we pretty much have everything squared away production-wise.
No doubt.
We have a whole pilot together. We're excited about it. It's just a matter of getting the streaming together and packaging it all together and just putting the ribbon on top, really.
Yeah, that's. I was just gonna add to that the whole like launch in general. The way that we want to present ourselves is we're being like very meticulous on that.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
And maybe that might hold us back a little bit, but we're just trying to make everything look as copacetic as.
But I think we took like the first. We took maybe 2.5 months, just seeing how we would get along, the chemistry, what kind of conversations we could have, troubleshooting some of the gear, this and that, just figuring out what would work best for us. And I think you have so many different options, so it's like, try this, try that, see what does work. Like you're a one-man band, so you know what you want to do, you know what I mean?
I didn't.
but you do at the same time. Like
I hit a lot of snags along the way. Trust me, it's a lot easier in a team, and I've done a lot of projects, as you guys know, with a team.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
With like a team-oriented kind of setup where I can lean on somebody if I'm slacking in some capacity.
for sure.
For this, it's I'm shooting from the hip the whole time, so I better be a quick shot.
It's fun though, man.
It's super fun.
Yeah. It's
if
exciting.
only there was money in it that I could keep.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Now we're definitely slow walking the whole process, just to make sure we dot all the I's, we cross all the T's.
The quality.
And to be honest, like, bro, you've hung out with Johnny and me before,
of course,
and you've hung out with Nan and I before at separate times. They've never really hung out with each other, so in order to get the vibe right, like, I know the people they are, and I know what they bring to the table, and it's just like it's a matter of kind of like building a bond between all three of us.
Yeah.
And that's been a process in itself.
So you're the catalyst.
I guess. I mean, I'm the mutual contact, I guess, but I wouldn't say I'm the
Give
catalyst.
yourself some more credit,
But-
baby. Come on, baby. What's going on?
But yeah,
No, that's awesome. So I think I overheard one of you mention that you have some episodes already recorded.
Yes.
Queued up.
Yep.
It's just you guys, right? Like that's kind of the format of your podcast is you guys discussing current events and things like this, right?
More so, yeah, especially in the production realm of things. As you know, like we've done different things, and over the last 5-6 years, whatever, something like that.
I guess we could we could talk about that a little bit, like
Yeah,
what
yeah.
exactly we've done.
But that's where it all started, you know, and it was just like, you know, how can you do different production jobs, this and that, just trying different things that are interesting, and you know, in the current state that the world's in right now, you know, it's like
it's a little wishy-washy out there.
exactly,
That
yeah,
deserves some credit too, because that's how this happened.
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. There was some credit to that.
Well,
for
that's
sure.
how I shouldn't say that's how this happened. That didn't start this. The conversation happened like
January.
Way
like
back,
a month or maybe just like a couple weeks prior to the whole U.S. doing this. But without the quarantine, we wouldn't have been able to move at the pace we did right in the beginning.
Bro,
For sure.
Nate was at my house for 2 weeks straight, like as we were putting all this shit together, and we were begging Johnny to come over. He's like, the virus.
Yeah, the first few weeks, I was like, I don't know, man. I don't want to leave my house right now, you know.
He's scared to go outside.
It's fun.
But it's been a great experience of, you know, coming together and just having these kind of conversations. And I think that's been the more rewarding aspect of it and the more interesting aspect of it. You know, and working together in general can, you know, be interesting within itself. But knowing what these guys are kind of into and with music and production or just like that kind of industry of things, we've had some pretty interesting conversations. So I think, you know, with our pilot we've been working on, you know, we try to cater that to that kind of audience a little bit more, and have more, or at least try to have more intriguing, interesting conversations that are relatable or that are somewhat informative, you know, and someone can get something from.
With the pilot, and correct me if I'm wrong here, like jump in at any moment, Nate, but like we pretty much imitated how one episode will be, but we broke it up into 3 segments, and we kind of like elaborated and like drew it out a little bit just to like kind of like, because it is the pilot and we're introducing ourselves. Yeah, well, I mean, we talk about current events. We want to talk about current events, music industry, music drama, but like even personal stories, whatever we got, like
something
just
that's
shit, dude,
related
you know what I
to
mean?
what's relevant. Yeah, of
it's
course.
just, the important thing for us is just like making a viewer feel like they're in the room with us. You know, you know what I mean? Like
100%.
and you know, I'm looking forward to it. But I mean, what else?
I mean, I would say that's pretty much on the head. I mean, as far as getting more elaborate, it's basically like, you know, dreams and aspirations on how we want to grow as a group or as a company together and stuff.
And then trying to create more of a inspiring type of persona image within that, you know, something that's I'm sure that you try to find with your podcast, interesting things. How can you provide some sort of information or this or that to your audience, you know, and make that you know, make people want to come back and be like, oh, I like what this guy's saying about this particular thing.
Yeah,
you know, you're getting some kind of value from that.
Yeah, and another thing is I always try to make sure I have people who are, you know, industry professionals when I'm talking about a topic. I don't want a couple of, you know, random guys talking about a topic where they maybe don't have any business talking about it.
Yeah, for sure.
That's something I am trying to be conscious about when it does come to the music industry, because it's like when we talk about, like, if we're going to talk about like deals and shit, it's not like we've been in a music deal ourselves and stuff like that, but you know, but we're trying to, I guess, add perspective from a fan perspective. I just felt a raindrop. That's awesome.
That's not awesome.
Yeah,
sweet.
Let's hope against that.
Chocolate rain.
I think we can handle some drizzle, but
yeah,
I won't be too concerned.
I think we have
you
a
can
few
definitely
hours.
move the control table a little bit over there.
Yeah, no, I think we'll be all right.
In the rain.
Yeah.
So what was your question?
What's up, bro? What I was saying? We're live here.
Yeah, we're live. It's Saturday night.
No, that's awesome. So let me ask you, what's the format of your podcast, right? So do you have a specific order that you take things, or do you kind of just let it go pretty loosely and you guys just have maybe a topic you're going to discuss for the day and shoot from the hip from there?
Well, we kind of, so I tried to take some lead with organizing the script, you know, and we went through some like rough templates on how we wanted to do it. And like he mentioned, we had some, I can't remember if it was Johnny that said it, we had some like trial runs before we even like finalized what the pilot was, when the pilot was going to start.
Yeah.
And when we did that, we realized in the beginning, when we wrote out like all these things that we wanted to talk about, it was just so damn lengthy. And we didn't know if that was necessary or if that was just, word vomit. Yeah. So we kind of wanted to like hone in on how appealing we could give all these topics and then whether or not we needed to shave some off. So I think eventually what it came down to was, what's the big topic that we all can chime in on, and then what we individually can bring to the table, whether it be like one or two things. And I think that's like where the happy medium comes into play.
Nice.
So I mean, as far as format, that's how we, I think, have it set up right now.
No, and we took some time, like Nate was saying, like especially in the first few weeks, not only the chemistry thing that we talked about, but also just the flow of the conversation. These guys put together a really nice sheet, kind of a questionnaire. We kind of had a conversation of like, what are interesting questions that we could ask ourselves? And starting off with personal things and then leading into much broader conversations or perspectives, So we kind of had a questionnaire that we all filled out individually, and with it all obviously the same questions, but then we filled that out, and then everyone has their own perspective on that similar topic. So then we can go through and kind of go down the list of questions, and then everyone can kind of chime in, give their perspective on that question, and that really. And then, like what Nate's saying, within that process, the first 2 or 3 times that we kind of did that, just to create the flow, to create the chemistry, it was like, wow, we have a lot more to say. And we kind of made some notes as we were kind of going and that sort of thing as well. And they kind of project us in a, kind of a balloon fashion then.
Production meetings are Thursday, Brad. Over the phone.
Thursday nights are production meetings.
So we say, hey, what do we want to talk about? And we kind of put it like on a list, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we make that script, what he's talking about. They come, they fill it out, we do a run through, and then we start recording. And it's as far as the format, we lay it out prior, but I can't say we have enough experience, and we don't have it down to a math yet.
Oh, this is all still very new.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Even with how many months in, it's new every time.
Well, I mean, we've only done 3 episodes, right? And we've really that script that we put together, Brad, it was like that ended up being 3 episodes. Yeah. Literally, like, holy shit.
But that's also what helped us. That's what helped us create those first initial episodes, or at least create the dialogue, and I think that was a very formative thing for us. Just trying to figure that out.
I forgot about that.
Do you have like an idea where you're going to do that in the future, where you kind of string episodes to make them kind of part of each other?
I think so. I think it played out in
like
a more
chapter or something.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why the pilot idea, it kind of came about. It wasn't say, okay, we're gonna go and create a pilot, right? It was kind of like, all right, how can we create more of an introduction episode? And then that's when kind of trying to put our heads together, we wrote a little script, because it's again 3 people come together. You like yourself, you can kind of just come in, ask questions, you have a formulated idea. But with 3 people, we're trying to figure out the best ways to go about it. Yeah, and
you
so
gotta keep it fresh.
Midway through,
exactly.
We definitely were like, we had the pilot idea.
Yeah,
it came about.
It was in the process. It wasn't like we're gonna just make a pilot. It was in the diving deeper and trying to develop the whole thing. It was like, oh wow, like this kind of introduction of ourselves, of the podcast. Let's make a pilot, and some of our I'm drawing a blank, but the dialogue that we started with first just really helped that and propel through episodes. It wasn't like, okay, here we have 1 episode, what are we gonna do for the next? Having that kind of initial fill in the blank kind of sheet, similar questions, it allowed more, like a lot more dialogue to happen over a period of time, I think. and I think that kind of projected us a lot further than episode by episode. It was
it helped us set us up nice.
We didn't even.
I did a thing where I bullet pointed one podcast that I did so far, and it wasn't so much an interview as much as it was a recap of an event that I did with a guest I had on.
Yeah.
And it seemed to help the flow of it, but like I said, that was a recap more than it was an actual interview, so it's not something I want to keep doing where I want to have note cards with a guest or something like that.
Yeah.
It's something I want to avoid. I want to keep it pretty natural like Joe Rogan does,
Fresh.
That is something, like, how do you handle having guests on your show? Because, that's something that I'm hesitant to do right off the bat, at least, just because we want to master doing what we do first.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But, like, how do you go... You jumped right into that, did you not?
Yeah, I mean, my first episode was with actually the guy I was in this band with, and he was actually the guy I bought the school bus that with the first episode of the podcast.
Dude,
was
you
in.
and the
That was a full circle.
You know what I mean? So, but that was just one example where I carefully chose Kevin. It was an easy thing to choose. We were in a band together. We have plenty of stories to discuss.
Yeah, there's a lot of dialogue.
It was going to be... We have an interesting story that people want to hear, so it's going to be an easy thing to discuss. But, some of the more recent episodes I've had people on where I'd never met them before.
Oh, yeah.
I'll give you one example.
Insane.
Yeah. I'd give you one example. I met... let me think. When I was in Philly, actually... I had a gentleman by the name of Justin Taylor on. He's like a parkour gym owner and like crazy athlete. And we went on this crazy tangent of a story. He was telling me about his last couple trips to Burning Man.
Oh, wow.
And it was a great podcast because he had some ridiculous stories, and I just know how to kind of guide someone through a good story to make them tell the highlights.
Asking questions and all that. Yeah,
exactly.
I'm sure that was awesome.
I want to know the juicy stuff, so I know how to ask the right questions. And that was one episode where I met him that day, and I'm like, dude, do you want to come on my podcast? Like, you're a very accomplished dude. Yeah. I want to know more about like your parkour journey. And then we ended up talking about Burning Man.
That's awesome. I'm sure that
shit just happens sometimes. You just got to ride that. You know what I mean? When you have a guest on and they go on some juicy shit.
Yeah, you guys.
Maybe it's not what you were prepared for, right?
Was there ever a moment in time where you were like, "Oh fuck, he said yes. He said yes. Okay, shit." Like,
no, I mean, I expected him to say yes because usually when I proposition someone to come on my podcast, I'm almost doing it like I'm going to pick up a girl at the bar, right? It's like, yo, like, look, we're having an after party at my place. It's gonna be really fun. We got beer pong.
I have a dog that you should see.
We have all these things. A dog. He's adorable. Here's a picture of him, Spike. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
I'm really like buttering him up for some really good experience that I practically have built just for them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna use.
It's a very unique conversation then.
Yeah, like we're gonna go talk on this really weird school bus. Yeah. You do weird stuff. Like, this is perfect for you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Oh, Burning Man stories fall right in line with that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, he actually owns a bus that he takes to Burning Man. Like, I found out on the podcast. So I was like, get the fuck out of here.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. You just have to. It kind of ties back to a life philosophy of mine where, I never look for what makes me different than a person. I look with great intensity at what makes us similar. Like, what do we have in common? How can we be friends right now? Like, I want to know that stuff.
Trying to unify is, I think that's important. That's key. It's what keeps everyone together.
That's really interesting because I think most people, especially in the more entertainment industry, they try to find things that sets them so far apart.
Oh, dude.
And be so unique and,
almost polarizing.
Exactly, and
it works for them. Like, those people get followers really easily. Like,
I would say, but
I tend to like almost go in the middle of the road on a lot of these topics.
Yeah, for sure.
And no one cares about that.
Yeah,
no one cares about the guy who's actually kind of agreeable. You know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah. You want a more polarizing conversation, and that's why I like the Burning Man stuff. I think would be a really interesting conversation.
Well, yeah, like one of the recent guys it's actually not recent. One of the older guys I had on my podcast where I recently posted a video where I did the thing, you know how my podcast works. I have a guest on and then I do with them like what they're known for. So I had a cop on. A guy, and he's like a guy that trains cops. Like he runs a training.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I saw
that.
that.
Yeah, Raphael is a cop.
Which one?
Pichardo?
No, I didn't know that.
Dude.
I knew he was in the academy. I didn't know he was like all the way through. He hasn't been at jiu-jitsu in a while though. We shouldn't be name dropping my man out here.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but like it was nuts. I'm at work and we play flag football together. He's on my team.
Get out.
And he's coming to get his. He's like, yeah, I'll stop by after work and get my jersey because we had it.
Yeah.
And first off, him and his compadre over there, Andrew, I'm like, they're just animals. Like, they have to just practice jiu-jitsu every day. Like, I don't know.
Dude,
and
Raph hasn't been in. He's been so busy lately.
He walks in.
When I've been there, anyway, he hasn't been in.
He walks in.
And he's
full suited up in his police. I'm like, all our coworkers thought we were in trouble.
Yeah,
because
like something's going down.
Because the neighbor just came by and he was saying about like how we can't use his dumpster anymore. And then 5 minutes later, Pichardo comes in.
So
my
some
coworkers
serious
stand there
shit.
shit their pants. Like,
That's funny.
Oh my god, I won't dump any trash in that dumpster anymore. I'm so sorry.
Raphael's just like, dude, I don't care.
I'm
Like,
here for my
I just
jersey.
want a jersey. Like, dump trash. I don't care.
You gotta love those cops.
Dump trash.
That's so funny, man. Yeah, he's a good dude, though. But yeah, anyway, back to kind of what I was saying with the guests I had on.
Yeah.
It was Phil from episode 15. Check out episode 15.5 where we shoot each other with
the big 1.5
simunition rounds.
Oh, really?
It's like angry bees that you shoot out of a Glock.
Yeah.
Is that you got
shot each other?
Yeah,
at the car? Is that around the car?
It's like paintball on steroids.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you
It
shoot
stings?
in and around the car.
Yeah, that's why I saw that.
Oh, yeah,
It was-
okay.
it was
yeah,
super
that
dope.
episode.
But yeah, the interview I had with him, like, we just discuss real world topics and some of the things, maybe we didn't agree on 100%.
Yeah.
But I was giving him a platform to discuss that. And I was in the military, so I agreed with most of the stuff he said. Like,
For sure, yeah.
Unapologetically. Like, Second Amendment, people need guns. Like, don't give up your guns.
Right.
We need our guns.
For
We're
sure.
Americans, all right?
Yeah.
It's all right. But there's some other things, maybe we disagreed on, this, that, or the other thing. But I think it's way more important that we have the conversation than we disagree on it and it never happens because we're scared we're going to offend each other or something. Like,
Yeah.
My podcast is not about that at all. Like,
Diversity.
I don't care.
I think.
I don't care if it's a touchy topic. Like,
Yeah.
let's go
That's
into
what makes
it.
good
Let's have a
content.
mature conversation about it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not trying to get people angry with what I say, though. And that's why, the polarizing guys, they don't care who they offend. And that's why they get so many followers so easily. Me, it's like, I'm not going to tiptoe around the topic. Like, let's dive into it for what it actually is.
And
Like,
have
I
a
don't-
constructive conversation.
If you're both if you both agree with stuff all the time, that's not going to be.
Yeah.
It's not going to be
Echo
interesting.
chambers are whack, dude.
Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it.
But
But yeah, you're so the topics on your podcast range from sports to music to like what else? Like, what are you guys discussing exactly?
So, you can kind of, it's generalized current events, which we want to make it time sensitive eventually, but all the things that we discuss are just things that we find interest in within those topics with, music, sports, and all that stuff. So, like, it starts there, but it could very much so end in me talking about, when I was 5 and, driving in a car with my mom to the grocery store. It could literally be anything. However that, like, just like you said, you intended on talking about topic A and it ended up being topic B, which was a good turnout. It's kind of how we just like let it pan out. We have this structure that we want to kind of abide to with current events in those industries. But however way we relate to those personally is how I think we want to truly thrive off and produce that content within the podcast.
That's cool.
Yeah, we try to. There's definitely a lot of different topics. We mentioned the core aspects of it, but at the same time, with three people, everyone kind of giving their own perspective, and everyone has a little bit of their own story. So, it makes it interesting then. So it's like sometimes, especially towards the end, I feel like we start diving into a little bit more corny stories, things that maybe have happened on whether it was like your first concert, what happened at your first concert, things like that, or you're going to an Eagles football game and there's some dude pissing in the stairway, crazy stories like that, like whatever may happen.
It's a good story, man.
It gets interesting
because like almost every episode so far or segment that we've done has ended up being that. We start with, okay, we want to talk about ABC, but it usually ends up with all of us sharing our personal relation based off of someone going, you know what that reminds me of? And then it just rolls from there.
Yeah.
It gears off. But I mean, that's the content that I think is so juicy because of how relatable it can be.
It's like a very real world kind of conversation then.
I mean, that's the stuff that we like,
No doubt. And it's nice to have like an anecdotal, like this is like an actual story that's happened to me that I can talk to, and that's why maybe I know more about this topic than the layman.
Right.
Yeah, that's great. So do you guys kind of want to give me like some background? Like obviously, me and Brandon have some history working together on some projects.
Yeah.
But like let's talk about like some specific stuff. Like you actually were doing film work for ESPN.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, my background, I guess, would be video, like, first off. And that started from, I used to play football. Football came to an end. I picked up video. I ran with video. Went to college for film and film. And at the Art Institute, met this dude over here.
Yep.
And that's a whole story within itself we can get into.
Madden
and 15. Then I got Madden. He played for like 5 minutes. He's like, okay, I'm bored.
Can't sit still. Can't do it.
But from college, I went into sports videography and got involved in live production, and eventually got on the ESPN shoots and stuff like that. But within that, like we met through Joey Lisa.
Yeah,
and I mean. It was an experience within itself.
Yeah, man. It was so interesting the way we met, and just you know what's a great like thing that I wish we could have done more of was that time where we were filming your final. Do you remember that?
Dude, you guys killed my final. Like the acting was A1.
We might have to put a link in the description of the video so you guys can check that out.
Yeah, I'm so blessed to have this guy as an actor. he killed it.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
He's like, oh, you want me to talk German?
I gotta see that.
Say no more.
I was a Russian guy. I was Russian. All right,
that's awesome. I gotta see this.
Cool. Like, I'll touch on it briefly, but. We had access to the basement of like a hotel basically, and we shot like a POW, like a Russian like espionage kind of situation where I captured a soldier, and I was like a KGB spy kind of thing.
You're gonna feed him his lunch.
Yeah, it was like how long was it? Like 2 minutes long or something.
It's not even. It's like 45 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just like
so
a mini doc.
Yeah, it's just so good. Like,
it was awesome.
It took hours to film.
It did.
But it was so awesome, and I wish we could do more things like that because it's just
That's cool.
It's crazy how when you have a dedicated group, like he had a purpose, right? He had to pass this final, but like why not go above and beyond and make this something that people would actually want to watch?
Yeah, make it interesting. Yeah.
And to be honest, like we had all our you guys were the actors for maybe like 3 productions that day. You know what I mean? Yeah, and like and I just lucked out because I'm like, I don't know what exactly I'm going to do. And it just meshed together, and it came together perfect. And then I saw my other classmates, and I was like, damn. Yeah, I'm glad I chose the location and what I did. Like, you know what I mean? Because didn't
they do like a card game one?
I don't fucking know.
I know that like it was crazy that we had the location.
He didn't pass that.
He didn't pass?
Yeah,
what?
He didn't graduate.
What?
Oh.
What a bum.
But moving forward.
Yeah, anyway. Yeah, it was a good idea. I don't know. So the acting wasn't the problem, though, right? It was just based on the lighting.
No, it was lighting and...
Poor guy.
It's probably the effort that he actually put into the project.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what counts.
Yeah, no, seriously. Especially...
but yeah, do you want to touch on like your background? So you're a music guy.
Yeah.
Like a sound guy.
Yeah, so...
Respect, I saw you.
Yeah. So, I don't know, I got into... I guess more of the technology of it, you know, like how like music production, like even before the Art Institute, meeting Brandon and all that, and I don't know, like in high school and like, you know, just figuring things out. I thought this thing was really cool, and so I would just come home every day and just be kind of fascinated by, you know, how is music made? Like that was like the fundamental kind of question. And then I was like, all right, I got to go to school for something. I really don't like school. I'm going to go to art school. Great idea. You know? So, yeah, so I just kind of said fuck it and moved down to Philly and, you know, took that kind of, that chance with that, you know? And it was really awesome. So learning more about the actual recording process, you know, learning about the mixing, learning about little techniques here and there, and but then also like the live sound aspect of it too. You know, so you're going from a studio standpoint of the recording process and all that entails that, to the full like actual events and concerts, and how do you build that? How do you scale that? And so that's what at the Art Institute, that's what put me on that path, and that's what I've been doing for the last 5 years, I guess now.
What's like the coolest thing you've done, like that you've filmed, or that what's the coolest production you've been a part of? How about, that's a better way to. We kind of touched on a few of your
I mean, all right, so like one of the highlights, just because it was such a unique thing, was the wrestling events, you know, and that was interesting by itself, and that was outside of doing like that straight up music thing like that, you know, that was the first thing that was different. That
so you did like WWE shit?
I mean, it was like jiu-jitsu.
You said wrestling.
So you gotta go back and forth. Yeah,
and then there's like some
yeah,
shit
but like
Oh shit!
Yeah, no,
that's awesome, dude.
Yeah, it was interesting, like in the production that came in with that, you know. But then I'm sure, like Brandon, like that just kind of gave you more confidence and be like, "That was cool. Let's go do some other shit now."
That was the first thing when we were like running the shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
We were the students before. We were the interns before.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
This shit, like, this was us.
Yeah, if you guys didn't
Like-
take pictures of what you had set up and everything and put it in your portfolio, you fucked up.
but like that's the debate sometimes. Like I know guys in my industry, like they're like pretty, like especially the older guys in my industry, they don't give a shit about that. They don't give a shit. Like you can hand me a resume and they'll be like, okay, cool. You can do this, I guess.
I guess.
You know, but they're like, they don't care to see the pictures or this or that. Cool, you did a concert with this person. How can we make this work now, in the moment, doing something bigger, better, cooler, whatever that is. Mm-hmm. You know, it's a lot more of a now kind of industry, at least the music side of it is, or you know, and especially events. So I just want to, so 2 events I have that were really cool that I liked. So the first one was with the company that I work for now. So I mentioned it a little bit earlier. So we have video walls, video wall panels, and all that. So it was a show down in Miami at the Fontainebleau.
You were in Miami, dude?
Yeah, I mean, I've traveled a few different places, but and so the super nice hotel, Fontainebleau. And it's like an old mob hotel kind of thing. It's been around since like the 30s, you know.
The vibes.
Exactly. But so the coolest part about this event, so we had these video walls. So what we built was a full-on. It was 4 sections, but they were curved video walls. Ooh. So it was basically an enclosed event. So you had a stage in the middle. And they had seating around it, and then you had all these video wall panels. So you had 4 video walls going around it, right?
That's sick.
Yeah. So then you had content that would come up. I don't think there was any cameras, but so it was basically all the content for the presenter. They would have videos come up, slides, whatever, and so then it's a full enclosed thing. So wherever you're sitting, you have a view, and then you see the presenter in the middle. So that by itself was a very cool event, and to build the video walls like that was just a really cool experience. I've never really done anything like that. And just, pushing the boundary of like a creative show. Like that's what I think is interesting. So doing something like that was like, wow, this is sick.
No, that sounds awesome.
So
do you really like working hands-on with like cutting edge technology like that?
I would say so, yeah, because that's what makes it interesting, and like, even some of the streaming things, different streaming technologies and different ways that you can do it, whatever you're doing. The technology to me, I think, is the more interesting part, because you can take these technologies and apply them in 5,000 different ways and come up with different scenarios, different things, whatever that is, and create really cool content or really cool systems for a concert, and you take this video wall thing and then you go, yeah, it worked over here, cool, let's go put it over there, see what, cut it in half, whatever,
Yeah.
And then
video walls can like transform into anything.
Exactly.
It's just so easy. They go together so easy. It's like literally like connects.
Yeah.
And
I've never seen it set up.
It's literally like little squares.
Yeah. They're like a foot by a foot kind of thing.
And then you just build it, like you build your base, and it's like they go together like Legos, dude. And all of a sudden it's like a huge TV.
Basically, yeah. It's massive. And
how does it stop from falling over? Does it have like stands?
It has really a ballast on it.
Yeah.
So, like the ground supported ones. So we, the company I work for, we do ground supported ones, and we also hang them as well. So we'll do different things with that. But the main supporter, you have to have some sort of ballast if it's on the ground. So they have like big like triangle type arms coming off the backside that really support it, And it's a whole. There's a little bit of a science mathy kind of thing going on with it.
How much those cost?
For like 300 panels.
Yeah,
it could be like 100 grand, 150.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
You getting one for your living room?
Yeah.
I'll stick with the projector.
Yeah, exactly. Projectors do work too.
I think with these productions, sometimes it's not about the production itself, and the production itself is kind of dope because like you're getting paid decent money to be at an awesome event, and that's awesome. But it's the brotherhood that you build with the people on the production. A lot of that
like
too. the one that we've built in Submission Arena, that's just like a little facet of what it can be when you're on the road in Atlantic City or Miami or Texas, and there's bars that you guys go out to after the production,
that's
or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
I got a great story. Hold on a second. I just want to mention this: the electric scooters in Dallas, Texas, are fucking amazing. Like great times. Like
so fast as hell.
Yeah, they go pretty fast. So it's like literally like, so I did a 2-week trip back to back with a layover in Philly. Really weird. So I was back at the same hotel 2 weeks back to back, but for 2 different companies. So they were like, all right, we're going to fly you home first and then fly you back down within a 2-day span. So I literally came home, had off Friday, sat in a pool all day.
Waste of money though.
Oh, but I tried telling them that, and then they were like,
it's their money though.
Yeah, they were like, like, we don't care. Someone's paying for it, everything's already taken care of for. Just sit over there. It's okay, That's kind of what it was. But so I went to Dallas and never really been to Dallas like that before, and so we were down like the JFK Plaza, which was awesome by itself. And then, but so we would have a whole long day. And, sometimes it's 12, 13-hour days, whatever. But then you go out afterward, and they have the scooters literally at the hotel and just all around the city. So you can jump on a scooter at the hotel, go out to the bars. There's different scooters around the area. Jump on those, go back to the hotel. And so, it's Uber and Lyft and Bird and Lime is another one. But these scooters are all over the place, and they go a good 15 miles an hour. So you can scoot around pretty easily. Yeah. And it's like,
racing on the block.
Yeah, exactly. Like you get a few beers in here, and you're like, you're ramping around the city, and it's a good time. It's funny. It's a good time. It's funny as shit.
Were you with a group of dudes?
Yeah, it was.
Fuck
Yeah,
dude.
I was with a bunch of people
I
from
can
work.
imagine how fucking fun that was.
Yeah. So like some nights though it'd be like we'd like already ate dinner and all that. Be like, yo, you want to go scoot? Let's go scoot,
bro.
Yeah. So we just go out for like 2 hours, stop at a bar, grab a few drinks, and then go scoot some more. You know. So that was a definitely a highlight. And Dallas by itself is a really awesome city. I want to go back there for sure.
I've never been to Texas. It's like.
Dude,
South by Southwest
I was just
too.
in Louisiana.
Everybody is so nice down there, bro.
Yeah, I would love to go to Louisiana too.
I'm sure it's
The
like
food
that in
was
Louisiana.
solid. The food was solid. I ate alligator.
Really?
Ooh, how was that?
Spongy.
What? You should
It's
talk
kinda
about that.
spongy. It was all right. I
Yeah.
thought it was gonna be like tougher than it was. I don't know.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I would really like is if like a Cajun dude like made it like legit.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Remy on the bayou. Like what's going on there? What's your name there, boy? Yeah, you want some gator? You know what I mean?
You gonna eat this? You gonna like
Yeah, you gonna like it. We got some goddamn bayou blend on this hot sauce right here. You know what I mean? That's the experience I wanted. But you know, it was like just some lady at a
You got
restaurant.
the tour
It was just
version.
some lady.
Yeah.
They didn't have husky accents where I was.
Oh, really?
I was in
Really?
where the fuck, wherever Mardi Gras is.
Not the French Quarters.
New
The French
Orleans.
Quarters.
Yeah,
is
New
like-
Orleans.
okay,
That's right.
yeah.
That's right.
I think it's
But
pretty
yeah,
diverse.
they have
there.
like regular ass Southern accents. I'm like, where are the Bayou folk?
Yeah.
You know, I want that. And we went on like one of those like fan boat tours,
Oh,
like
cool,
around
cool,
like
yeah.
a swamp. And that was the one time the guy actually had a pretty husky accent. But it was
he's
even,
backwaters.
it wasn't backwaters enough for
No,
me. I knew
no.
there was better than that.
Yeah.
Like I'm like,
You want
man,
the real authentic
I want
version.
cousin Jim, bro. Like where's he at?
No
man?
shirt under the overall with
You
the
know
one
what I
strap.
mean?
hanging down.
Yeah, dude. That's what I wanted.
What are you doing here?
This guy was crazy
That's
though. Like he
right.
was feeding alligators marshmallows. Did you know alligators love marshmallows?
No.
I
That's
don't-
funny.
dude.
That's weird.
If you look at my Instagram, like on my highlights, I have it there.
You have it,
dude. It's
just
like,
thrown bags of fucking.
dude, they just go.
Yeah, it's
It's like
crazy.
crack.
Looks like we're
gators.
going gator. Watch.
I wonder if it's the sugar.
Yeah,
or-
let's go. Let's do it right now. I couldn't believe it. I wouldn't have believed it if I didn't see it for myself.
Yeah,
I
that's
actually
interesting.
fed them. I was pegging them like in the back, like where they have their like back exposed out of
yeah.
the water. I was like pegging them and they going ah.
Yeah, they go nuts. Yeah.
It was crazy. I couldn't believe it.
That's pretty cool.
That's
Yeah.
funny. I got one more story real quick.
Yeah,
though.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
And then we
Don't let
can,
me distract
we can
you.
then we can move on. But so it was a story. Or it was a show up in New York. It was basically a warehouse show, right?
Ooh.
And so a buddy of mine was like, hey, so he was kind of the connector, kind of working with this group a little bit. So there's a few different aspects to it, I guess. But so the guys that were hosting the show, there's two main guys. They were the sons of Jam Master Jay from Run DMC, and the one dude is the main tour DJ for ASAP Ferg, and he also DJs on the X Games a little bit, right? So they kind of built this collective and this kind of thing, and so they were like, all right, we're gonna have a warehouse party, and we're gonna bring in some big acts. We're gonna have a big stage. So it was a band and two rappers, and I'll get to that point.
Crazy.
Yeah, right. Then they had a whole wall of vintage arcade games. Yeah, like they just like put up money
You
for
didn't
this.
hit me up.
Dude, this is like 20. This is like 2-3 years ago. I don't even know
Exactly
when
what
this
he met
was.
you.
Right? For real. You're like,
Yeah,
bro,
real
you're
talk.
not helping your case.
Yeah. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, finish.
But then because of the X Games relation, they had a mini skate park in the warehouse as well. So they had the concert
Yo,
and the
that's
stage and all that,
nuts.
and then they had a whole like fenced-in skate park off to the side. And it was just free. You can just go in and skate, whatever. They were giving tattoos in the back. Like they had a little outdoor, food cart area. Like
sick.
it was wild. Like full on, like New York warehouse style, like I never been. I always wanted to go, never been. You know what I mean? Like the underground raves, I would be there. You know what I mean? But like I was like, oh, this is sick. So my buddy, kind of friends with the guys that were kind of putting it on. So he told me and myself and two other buddies. One was a photographer, the other guy was a graphic designer. So we were like, all right, cool, we'll go up there. And we were pretty friendly with him. So he was like, he kind of told his buddies, we're like, hey, these guys are gonna come up, they can help. tell them if you guys need anything done, let them know. They'll help out, whatever. So being in the sound realm of things, I got to help. I just kind of jumped in, talked to the guys, and then mic'd some drums up and ran some cables and whatever I could do, and then ended up kind of being getting buddy with the front of house engineer, the sound engineer. His name was Jungles from Brooklyn, and he was one of the recording engineers for Immortal Technique. Right, but it was just like rapper. It was one of those scenarios where like, is this real? Yeah, he was like, yeah, I live on a boat. I repair speakers now. Like my boat's not far from here. Yeah, right. And he was like, yo, if you want to go see my boat after this, we go see my boat after this. See his boat? No, I did not. Because I was like,
in there, bro.
Yeah, but it was just like it was just such a weird situation, but like so rewarding at the same time, it was bizarre. So then the headliners for the concert part of it, so there was a band as like more of the opener, and then it was Little Peep before he actually passed away. It was probably 6 to 8 months before he passed away, so that was
pretty weird if it was after.
Yeah, right. Yeah, oh, definitely. But that was a weird experience because I never really heard of him like that, and then he came up, and it was just like, wow, this guy's like rocking, you know what I mean? And then the headliner being A$AP Ferg, I was like, oh shit, this is a pretty good sized show, And it was a warehouse show. There was like 1,000 kids just packing in, and like they're bunch of kids just whatever, that's New York, I guess, and so I was like by front of house. The guy was like letting me kind of jump on and this and that, and then so the first 2 acts go on, everything is great, more people are coming in because they want to see the A$AP Ferg, the headliner, and there's some DJs, that was cool too. But then A$AP Ferg is the headliner. He goes on, performs like 3 songs, and it's so packed. And they had barriers kind of around the stage and stuff, but it was very, it was a warehouse party at the same time, right? So it was so packed, and the people were trying to get closer to the stage, and so they knocked in all the barriers, and basically all the power amps for the microphones all went out.
How?
So you would imagine how that went.
Moment.
So I was like, thank God this is not my show. Like I was like, I'm just here helping out, bro. Like, I can run the faders, I can do this and that, but like, I'm not in charge of all this other stuff, And so the front house guys
shit the bed. That's what you're telling me.
Yeah, it was him and this lighting guy. They had a lighting guy they were like both guys. They seemed very respected and like they had the credentials, but I don't know. It was a warehouse party.
You're right, man. 100%.
Dude, while you're at these,
that was crazy. Yeah, that was crazy.
Rain right now.
It's holding off right now. It's not too bad.
We're lucking out.
We are lucking out. But I'm saying, like, we definitely had some spit coming on us a minute ago.
A little bit, yeah.
It was supposed to come down around 12.
Should be going wrong.
I was getting close to that.
I looked at when we first came on. I looked at it and it was pushed up to 11. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I look at the time, I'm like 11:04. Oh, sweet.
When shit happens.
But when you're at these events, did you ever just like think like, holy shit, like I'm being paid for this?
Oh, I didn't get paid for that.
You didn't get paid for it.
No, not at all.
But it's still like,
it was just
you're
like a ticket in.
From me to
basically,
Nate.
yeah.
From me to Nate away from like A$AP Ferg. Or
I mean, I wasn't really like around like the artists. Like I was able to go on stage and I had to run things when they needed to be ran. So like the DJs were on, I would go on stage, whatever.
Man, I would have been backstage shooting the shit,
dude,
the whole time.
Yeah, but like I don't know. I'm not. See, but like that's the difference. Like I'm not the. You were talking about the picture thing. I'm not the type. And that's like the weird credential thing, because if I was to put that on my resume or on paper, be like, oh, I did a show with XYZ. Yeah. I go to an actual company and they're gonna be like, cool, like and dude, we do all this other stuff.
It's like,
what can you do for
when
us?
you see these people, you said you'd be shooting the shit, right? But like, I'm so like
conscious and aware.
Not self-conscious, but like I want to be professional when I see these dudes.
Yeah,
like I've seen like G-Eazy or Juice WRLD, and I'm up like yeah you ain't shit. Like I just start like talking shit on them in my head just to like look at this guy, he's an average Joe, he's fucking lucky he's famous, he ain't shit. And like but the thing is, like, I never can go up and just shake their hand because I'm gonna just like,
it's a level of confidence,
like,
in
word
a way.
vomit. You know what I mean? But like, first off, that's not acceptable.
This is the move, right? First thing you gotta do is if you're a girl, you'd be like, "Yo, do you want to make out?" Like, because girls
have that's
a
like
power
easy
play that
access
girls
card.
have, you know what I mean? Like the power of boobs. You don't have boobs, so what do? You buy them a beer. Be like, "Yo, you want a beer? You like? Can I buy you a beer?" You know who I bought a beer for? You won't fucking believe this. Tyrone. You know who that guy from the memes?
No fucking
memes. I'm Tyrone. I'm here to fuck somebody's wife.
No
I bought that guy a beer. I saw him at the casino when I was watching a UFC fight, and I was like, "Is that fucking Tyrone?" Because he had an entourage. I'm like, "That's fucking Tyrone, bro."
Wait, what casino? Where at?
The Sands, right over here. Not Sands. The one in Philly.
The one
I know what you're talking about. I can't remember. It's not the Sands.
It changed names recently too.
Yeah,
it's like
know.
Wolf Creek or some shit.
Yeah, it's
whatever, dude.
now,
It's the one that's near Philly. Yeah.
Yeah, down on the
Pass me
waterfront.
another one as well, Nathan.
You want this one?
A Rolling Rock?
Sure.
Yeah,
I'll take an
angry,
I'll take
okay.
an angry ale. Why not?
But we definitely need a bottle opener.
Oh yeah, these
Bro.
guys
Oh,
are-
I got you.
I'm about to give it the all.
I can't reach it.
But yeah, do tell. No, I have a bottle opener actually. Don't.
There you go.
Some other fucking stories that I got. I can't make them as interesting as Johnny here.
Yeah,
But
they're
like
they're just
some of
stories.
my
He
favorite
doesn't need to try
productions.
with those.
Some of my favorite productions that I've been on. First off, I got to go to New Year's Eve in New York, and that was nuts. Just to
yeah,
be,
that sounds crazy.
we were overlooking the main street, and that was nuts. But I also got to my favorite one. I think was going to the Catskills, and it was on one of the productions like him.
Yeah.
Where we made video boards, and it was my first experience there, and I got to be a cameraman there. But we had to,
Catskills, like the mountains.
yeah, it was a music festival in there. Lord of Haran was there. I think I said that right.
So it was a concert? though?
Yeah, it was a concert. It was a
really?
music festival, and it had
Interesting.
they had great food there. However,
Love
the
concerts.
lodging
Hook up on that?
the lodging was crazy because it was in a camp,
Where was this at again?
the Catskills in New York.
Oh, okay.
And-
Upstate New York, kind of?
I guess you could say upstate New York.
Outside the city.
Yeah, outside the city, and it's a big forest,
Okay.
and so it's a big camp. And there was no hotels in the area, and I'm used to staying at a hotel. And we go back to the lodging, and it's literally like, it's like a kids camp. You know what I mean? You got bunk beds, and it was like a hell of a it was like fuck this because of food. When you're not eating from the vendors, which was like only the second day we got vouchers for it, but the first day we had to like eat like PB&Js.
Oh,
But
that's
it was
rough. That's
it
super
was
rough.
awesome in a way. Like we were struggling, we were all in it together.
Yeah, that's the fun part about
And
it.
like afterwards, like my boss kind of felt bad that we had to go through it, and I think after the first night we all played volleyball.
That's cool.
That was sick, just playing volleyball with the bosses and stuff like that. But the second
it's
night,
more human
I
then.
convinced him on the video boards to order the Habib McGregor fight. And we watched it on a
No
huge
way.
video board.
Oh, that's sick.
That's fucking awesome.
That's really cool.
Literally, like everybody that was packing up came and watched it with us. And
Dude, that whole card was great.
dude,
That had to be epic though. To sit and watch that on a big video wall like that.
it was nuts.
Yeah, I'm sure that was.
I don't know how I convinced him to do it. And it was my first production. It was probably super unprofessional, but like whatever. Like
But he
I
was
wanted to watch
probably
it.
about. No, I'm sure they wanted to watch it. So it's like that's better than just going to the bar.
Got
Like,
fucking choked out.
yeah, like you guys control that. Like it's set up. It's being paid for.
Then
So.
we saw them all the brawl at the end.
Oh, dude.
Like, we were like, what the fuck just happened?
Bro, Khabib's a fucking beast. He'd be wrestling bears, dude. Would you
What?
wrestle a bear?
No, hell,
No
fuck
fucking
that.
way.
Yeah.
Baby. I do jujitsu. I would not fucking fuck with a bear at all.
Hell no.
Whenever I go camping, I always bring my gun with me, dude. Fuck that. Like
As you
I'll
should.
go. I'll go into like a sketchy part of town. I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
we'll see. Maybe the knuckles will be all I need, right? I do not
Yeah.
go in the woods without my Glock. You crazy,
for sure.
dude? Bears are hungry, and they will eat you and turn you
mean,
into poop.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah.
worst thing that could happen.
I mean, you're talking about bears versus people. People are people at the end of the day. You know.
I don't have claws.
Exactly. Yeah,
can't bite
you're at a
a thing's
disadvantage.
head.
You ever see
Oh.
The Revenant? The Revenant?
Oh, The Revenant's
Dude,
a great movie.
That one bear scene,
It was solid.
that was traumatic, dude.
It was traumatic.
You-
It was graphic.
You know that was CGI. I'm pretty sure that was CGI.
I'm sure it was.
I thought they brought a real bear.
I mean, all right, come on, jokes.
Actually,
Come on.
I seen.
Dun-dun-dun.
No, I thought they
seen
had
the
a real
dude-
bear.
I seen the dude with the Johns on.
Yeah, yeah.
And like he was like attacking like Leo in the
Leo in
okay.
with the sensors on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
suit. How do you stay in character?
In that, right? Like, because it's just a dude hugging me. Ah! It's tickling me, dick.
Bob, get off me.
Yeah, that's interesting. I always wonder how those get made like that.
Tyler, your beard's tickling me. Yeah.
Immediately out of kit. Stop. Yeah, stop. It tickles.
Yeah, you get a little closer. Is that your beard?
That's good.
But Nate, we haven't gotten to Nate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Nate.
let's keep it
What's
going.
going on with Nate over here?
Sorry. Good Lord, where do I start? So, I guess it starts with Brandon, definitely, because we've been friends like way back since middle school.
I'll drink to that.
Yes, sir.
Cheers to
That's
that.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Go down the line. You gotta go down the line. You gotta go out for that.
Start that story,
Friends with-
man.
Hey, Saturday. What are Saturdays for?
The fucking boys.
The boys. Cheers to that.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, so we've been friends for a long time.
I like these Saturdays. Just saying.
Saturdays are for the boys.
Yeah.
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 That's
why I agreed to
definite.
come down here.
Nice.
But yeah, our friendship started in Muhlenberg middle school, and it was funny because it was all based off of confrontation. Like, it wasn't like, hey, what's your name type of thing. It was like, fuck you. We got into like this like book scrap. It was funny, but we we started to find a common interest in music, and it kind of branched off from there. Brandon mentioned to me during that time like about rapping and stuff, and the reason that I started to at that age get into making music was because of him. So we kind of like at that age tried to collaborate the best that we could.
Yeah.
And it was basically getting a junky old laptop and trying to record with like stupid shit like Audacity and stuff, and
shit,
USB
man.
mic, but then it started to turn into something a little bit bigger, and at that age you're thinking, oh my god, this could really I'm gonna be
And
famous.
he's only 15.
Yeah, it was like, it was crazy, but
That's what's fun.
He freestyled for Beanie Siegel before.
yeah, we it
That's
eventually
wild.
it was pretty consistent with the time that we were putting in even at that age, and we were just making moves and putting stuff on YouTube, and that was it. And finally, with his connection with family with the silo, that's how I was able to meet Beanie Siegel, and I freestyled for him. And it was kind of cool because like at that time, I didn't think anything of it. I was thinking like, oh, this is really cool, a famous person. But thinking back now is like, wow, like I still can't believe that, not to say that he's not a human, but like I was able to do something for someone that was famous,
Yeah.
So I mean, that as far as the the rapping career goes, that's as far as it went. But I slowly, as I started to get towards the end of my high school career and into college, I started to dabble into what Johnny was doing. It wasn't as near as like crazy, but I loved making beats. So I started working with like FL and stuff, and
Nice.
I was just like dabbling with that. And it seemed like that was the avenue that I was going to actually take, instead of actually like, recording and writing verses. Fortunately, my equipment, like literally everything that I owned to make that my dream, got stolen. And I was around the age of, I think it was around the age of 18, 19.
Yeah, 18, 19. That's
Damn, dude.
When that got taken from me.
That's
So
rough.
at that point in time, I didn't have like a crazy good job to be like, all right, I'll get back to it in like a couple months. It was like, how the hell do I start from the ground up? So it
Yeah.
kind of like mentally deterred me from going back, and I did take some time off from actually continuing with it. So there was some space between there. We still obviously remained friends and talked about like, all right, we got to get back to it, and it was like years after years after years trying to actually make it a reality. And finally one night, conversation, it was random, and I don't, he might be able to better tell, but it was all through text. He texted me, or I texted him. It was something like that, and we were just like shooting the shit. And this was last year. This was in October, November of 2019.
Okay.
We were shooting the shit.
Yeah.
And just like talking about current stuff, catching up maybe. And out of nowhere, something that he said.
You should start a podcast.
Yeah. He's like, you should start a podcast. And I was like,
call me 30 seconds later.
I was like,
why do you say that?
I was like, bro, because for the past 3 weeks, I was like really sitting back and evaluating everything that I'd done up until that point with music. And I was like, what's my actual, I was trying to figure out my actual drive with music, because everything that I was doing extracurricular and career-wise wasn't really driven on that path. I went to high school and then I went to Kutztown afterwards, and I flopped around with majors through business, psych, and actually I got accepted into the art program and then dropped that immediately and then went into business and psych, because I was like, I really didn't know what I was going to do, you know? I just didn't, I don't know what it was that was inside of me that was deterring me from actually trying to continue to pursue my music passion. But anyways, the conversation that took place between me and him was really like the jump start, because prior to that I was thinking, I think that my music passion solely lies on finding new and how I can bring that to everyone around me, because I love music, you know, that's a definite, that's a given. And there's something about finding something in the music industry that nobody knows about yet and being that person to be like, hey, check this out, you know? So as little as that, all the way up to like being there since day one as a group or an artist that's not well known, and seeing them rise to where they are now. Like he told me about Drake. You know, obviously Drake was a lot.
Have you heard of him?
He was a lot further in his career when he told me about him. But there's many artists now that are popping, that are famous, that I found out about, and they were basically nothing, you know? And it's just like, it's so cool to see them grow from their hometown and get big nationwide, even, you know, worldwide.
A small thrill.
So it's just it's the thrill of that. That's what really drove me to be like, okay, there's got to be something in that. How can we make that an actual thing? So we talked about starting a podcast based on the music industry, and my involvement was basically, how can I bring that to viewers? Because I see it day and night on social media. Hey, I need new music to listen to, or what's good music out there, you know, I'm tired of listening to the same stuff. I see it within my friends group all the time, you know? So being able to be like, hey, listen to this, what do you like? Or, you know, bam, bam, bam. Like, I love being able to provide that for the public. So we had that conversation. Like I said, I called him immediately after, and I was like, we should start a podcast. And fortunate enough, with this whole pandemic happening, it wasn't just us that decided to do that in this time of, you know, weirdness.
Everybody got a podcast.
Yeah, it's honestly, if you haven't been using this time wisely to like do a passion project, or even just further your whatever, anything that you've got going on, like I felt gifted to have the time. Like I was like, I lost my job, you know what I mean? I moved to Philly to get a new job, and I'm like, dude, like, if ever there was a time to chase
whatever you want,
this is it, right?
It was like summer vacation for adults.
I don't know if I would call it vacation.
Except for you can't really do shit.
Yeah, for real.
But, let me step away for 1 second,
first. Bro. Yeah. Let's make a decision about this rain.
Yeah, the rain that's your coming.
It's gonna get worse.
It's getting wet.
Ladies and gentlemen,
where it was, but I heard someone
we had a small break there because Pennsylvania weather can be a little unpredictable at times.
It's not exactly California.
Shaky dakey, baby.
So where were we? What were we talking about? You guys have some origin stories that we need to touch on. One of you needs to start. Let's go.
But first off, you can't tell me that when you pass gas, you don't take a whiff and be like, yo, I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of myself.
No,
that's just
not
raunchy.
it at all. It's more like, I smell this.
Is it? No, but I wouldn't
know. Never do that so the girl you're with doesn't smell it?
Yeah. Fuck that. No, but I genuinely want to know if the smell of your own flatulence is something that's appealing, or if it's something that's gross. Because for me, and I've heard other
Like
things,
personally?
yeah, for me, it's something that's like he said, like I'm like nice, like good.
For the most part, yes, but there's that 25% that's like, yo, that shit is raunchy right there.
But does it affect you like it affects other people? Because I don't believe it does.
I think it's like
not to the same
we
level.
made sharks out to be the bad guy with the movie Jaws, and we do that with passing gas too. We're making it out to be the bad guy when it's a natural scent. It's a natural
comparison,
scent.
though.
It is.
But it comes from the booty hole. Like, you guys be eating booty? My man.
Hell yeah, that brown eye is on me.
All eyes on me. That's your favorite song, ain't
I love it, man. I love it, man. That's dessert for me, baby.
Brown-eyed girls.
I haven't been given the opportunity.
You haven't
were
been
meant
given
to
the
live for so much.
dude.
more.
It's not something you ask for. Like,
Yo, we're breaking out the s'mores, though.
Bro, I'm bringing. Look. We bought it for a reason.
You guys should double end that.
Do you guys like how the fucking fire pit followed us into our new location? now?
we didn't even move it. It
Who's
just
hype about that?
Yeah, it actually.
It got up and said,
Oh,
guys,
we're moving?
we're going in the garage now.
Yeah, it's got and walked. It's
like
got
Lil
2 legs.
Duval with his suitcase.
But yeah, man, let's talk about the origin story now.
I don't remember exactly.
No,
I think
dude.
he was saying something, but I don't remember exactly what.
No, I was saying to him, like, you were explaining, like, how we became friends
Just
in middle
go
school.
into it.
And, like, you skipped over so much.
Well, just
and,
go
like,
into it.
there was a time where I almost got shot while he was chilling in the van. Like,
Wait, what? What?
But we won't get that out.
Nah, I want to hear
Alright,
it.
fuck
That's
it,
the
fuck it,
story
fuck
I
it.
want to
Alright,
hear.
so
Oh my
like-
god! There was a gun. A gun got pointed at you. A gun got pointed at me.
Yes, 2 separate stories.
Oh my
but,
God,
we
yeah,
were
that's
there for
right.
each other through both of it.
That sounds
It was
cute.
great.
happened?
No, but so,
The
and we told
podcast.
this story before, but like, fuck it. We
love the
we
honesty.
went down to the beach. I finally convinced my grandmother, like, oh, please. I grew up with my grandparents. And so, like, we finally convinced my grandparents to let me have a friend come down to the beach because we went almost every other weekend.
AC?
No, we went down to, like, Lewis, Delaware.
Okay. Like Dewey Beach, the gay beaches,
yeah,
right?
Fishing.
That's actually Rehoboth.
Beach.
And there's nothing wrong
okay.
with that.
I heard
Is there?
the gay beaches? No.
Okay,
I'm
all
just
right,
saying.
I was just wondering.
I just thought that's where you go.
But, but no, but
I'm sorry.
Brandon's a fan of Rehoboth,
and that's okay. It's actually a nice beach.
and there is nothing wrong with that.
No.
But anyways, so we're back, and our beach home is in the middle of nowhere. Before you get to these beaches, you pass a town called Milford, and beyond that,
Solid.
like if you get off Milford, Delaware.
Is that where the mills are?
Anyways, but if
Alright.
you go back towards the water, back towards the beaches, it's called Slaughter Beach.
Slaughter.
Very appealing.
These names.
Yeah, Slaughter Beach.
Very descriptive.
And it's like literally in the middle of nowhere. Nobody really goes there. But we had a beach house, and it was like, what, a couple, maybe like 20 minutes away from Lewis. Anyway, so we are
It was at
in
a-
the midst of like high school. Like, Nate's going to be a rapper, and I'm going to be his promoter. Like, we're going to make it big. And it's
We're
a
gonna
done
come
deal.
up.
So, like, what we're going to do is we're going to take
just
his...
the way it is.
Yeah, and we're gonna take his HP laptop, and we're gonna go in my van, my grandmother's Chevy Venture.
The one that
we're gonna
took
take
45
all
minutes
We're
to
gonna take
load.
all the seats out, and we're gonna take all the pillows from the beach house and put it in the van, and record off of his laptop mic. And so he's
In
recording.
the van?
What?
In the van? That's
Dude,
pretty
yeah.
solid.
It was legit.
We tried. Except for we're literally recording on the laptop mic, not even a USB mic. I don't think, like literally the mic, the
Yeah,
the
it
video
was.
chat mic.
It was It was all for the laptop.
But absolutely you can. But
Yeah, you're munching over there, bro.
so we're out. It's the middle of nowhere. Nobody's around, and I get a phone call while he's recording in the van. And I pace while I'm on the phone, so I'm walking and I'm talking.
you pace whenever you have
Yeah, tell me about how I
lot
pace.
a lot.
How do you
Often.
feel when I pace?
It makes me nervous.
Good. It helps with my nerves. But so I'm pacing, I'm talking, and here I am like a block away from the house. And there is other houses. We're in the middle of nowhere, but there is other houses. And I turn around and there's a dude in and a yellow rain suit
Oh shit!
in the middle of the street.
I remember this story.
And I'm like, okay, what the fuck? And I walk up to him, and
What's
he's
a
like,
rain suit?
like a little, like,
That
it's
sounds
literally
like
a yellow rain jacket. He looked, I don't know.
That sounds like the movie It.
There's like a seafood that is branded with a guy that's in a yellow, and I forget what it is.
Like the movie
Tuna?
It.
The tuna fish?
I'm not sure what the fuck it is.
Yeah, it's the tuna fish, I'm pretty sure.
But it literally looked like that dude.
Oh, no,
And-
no, the fish sticks. The frozen fish
Oh,
sticks. That's what it is.
you're
Yeah.
right. You're right.
And I'm like, all right, so
Delicious.
Yes.
this guy is like a murderer. Like, whatever. Like, what's going on, man? And he's like, so what are you doing around here? We had a bunch of break-ins lately, and we just want to make sure you're not up to no good. And I'm like, oh, no, I'm just talking to my girlfriend on the phone. Like, no big deal. He's like, all right, well, don't talk around here. Okay. All right.
Damn,
So as
profiled them.
we're about to depart, you hear a voice in the distance like, hey, I guess it's his dad or his uncle or something. Yeah, this guy's
the old
this,
tuna
this-
fish guy,
I'm
or the old fish stick guy as his older brother or something.
I guess so. And he's like 30, and some dude that's like 50 comes out of nowhere, and he has a
Damn.
gun. He's
Captain Hook ain't. Oh shit!
like, he has a gun pointing at me.
are you doing Captain Cleaver?
And like furthered the message, like, no, don't come around here. And I'm just trying to talk to my girlfriend. Like,
What town is this again?
And
Slaughter.
yeah, Slaughter Beach. I go back to the house.
Sounds fitting.
I
to
go
be
back to
honest.
the fucking house, and I tell my grandparents. My grandparents are livid. Like, they want to go talk to these people, and their friends are with at the beach house. They're like, no, Brandon shouldn't have been walking and talking. No, like, we have a property down here. Like, what if they mess with our property while we're in PA? And I mean, that's the story. Nobody ever fucking backs me up.
Moral of the story is it
was my fault.
shit fest.
And then I came back, dealt with my parents, and then went back to the van. He's like, Nate, did you start recording yet? He's like, nah, I'm about to start now.
Wait, so you got out of the car because he wanted to pace and talk on the phone, and you ended up almost getting shot.
Yeah, pretty much.
It'd be like that.
It sounds like pacing is an issue.
Yo, was there another stick?
Yeah, here, I got you. Got you, dude.
Nate, you don't want one?
Oh, no, I'm Gucci.
All right, man. I'm just
Yo, these s'mores.
I'm on
while
call right
having
now. I'm
some
waiting
juice
for that.
And
Yo, tell me. All right, so I want to know something interesting from each of you, right? If you could have your podcast do everything that you want it to be for you, what would it be? And anyone can start. And then I want to hear all of your answers. Like 5 years from now, if everything goes right, what does it look like? What does your project look like?
So, or do you want to go?
Nah, you go. That's shit.
So the coolest thing that I could see in 5 years, geez, I mean, I would like it to pretty much run the same way that Barstool is running.
Barstool Sports?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Barstool page has just like such a diverse presentation and fan base. I love the style. Not to say that they're just like they don't give a fuck, but they're really relaxed, and they're just like they tell it how it is, and some stuff is opinionated, and I think it is more geared more towards guys.
Yeah,
that's why But I mean, we are all dudes here, So I think if there was something that I would have to say what I would want out of it, it would probably be as poppin' as Barstool. I would want there to be just a company so big that you could talk about anything that you wanted and post whatever you wanted and have it just be so like relatable. It's cool.
Yeah.
I think
I mean those pages like Barstool and even like Joe Rogan, man, they serve a really powerful purpose. Like
it's a really big platform.
Yeah, it's a great platform for people to kind of hear what they might be thinking. You know what I mean? and it's nice.
People at that level too,
Like the echo chamber shit aside, like it's good to be validated in some capacity.
Mm-hmm.
We got so many people here. Well, within the three of us here, I guess that's not too many people. But what I'm saying is, I'm in video, he's in audio, and he's an aspiring musician. Mm-hmm. All right. So what we want to do, we figure like podcasting is the perfect median for a launch into something bigger. Whether it's equipment rentals for filming, whether it's producing like something like a Live Nation to where we put together live events, or
doing tours or shows, or
whether it's him mastering for musicians, whether it's him actually launching his musician career. If we get any of that out of the podcast, this is what we start. The podcast is where we start to get the fan base. This podcast right here, the one we did before, this is all the jumpstart of trying to build a fan base and launching and developing that more. So that therefore we're building a foundation for other avenues. You know what I mean? It's By the Wave podcast is a podcast, but By the Wave Entertainment
is a brand.
Is a brand.
Yeah,
and that's what we're looking to. Just keep the door open. We don't have anything right now, nothing definite, but we want to just keep the door open. You know what I mean?
It's cool that you're thinking so far ahead in the capacity that, like with the gear rental and stuff, like you could see how you could scale it to a larger,
Yeah, no, and I would, to be honest, I would change fan base with notoriety and just recognition. And so it's like you have people like us and on a podcast like this, and it's more about the conversation. It's like, again, going back on paper, it might just be like, oh, this, that, and third, or whatever. But then you hear a story and be like, oh, okay, like this actually happened, that actually happened. And then maybe that makes sense for, an upcoming artist to like go do a 30-show tour. Something like that. Like that's something for me, like I would love to do, like, so if you can create that platform to highlight and show and create conversation at the very foremost, that's, I think, opening doors for really whatever to come,
No, that's awesome.
Yeah. And I think that's more collectively, like that's the biggest thing between us all is like, how can we build something that is collectively cool, individually cool, and then how can there's collective goals and there's individual goals as well, and then and navigating that. And so it's like, if you can have this kind of platform where we can kind of come together collectively, talk on things, and highlight and show and just have the conversations, where does that go? You don't know unless you try. You don't know unless you actually go and just put it out there. So it's like,
I think it's cool because like Brandon said, we have it so broad, so open-ended, because we want to see ultimately what all our talents combined can achieve in all different avenues.
Mm-hmm.
The podcast is the start, but ultimately, like Brandon said, the brand of By the Wave Entertainment is to eventually open ourselves up through different avenues. Like maybe it's not just podcasting, maybe it is a production thing, maybe it is music, maybe it is live touring. It's just any type of part that we can contribute towards the entertainment industry is eventually what we would like to see. So as far as your question, when you said 5-year plan, whether or not that's realistic, we're going to keep shooting for the stars, obviously,
for sure, man,
but still remaining humble, being realistic, and just trying to get that accomplished is our goal.
I think one of the interesting things that we talked about on the first half of recording is just being open, and then in being able to create the opportunity to push forward. So it's like, having this kind of and with the times as well, it's like, why not just try it? Why not just see what happens? Build this, build that, whatever it is.
Why not now?
Why not now? I think that's with this whole pandemic thing. You can treat it how you want, and I think that's one of the most empowering things that people should take away, is that everyone has this free time, so why not try something new, build this thing, build that thing, build something you enjoy, and that's the cool part. It's like we can come together and just have the conversations and see where those go, and see, and then just keep building, networking with other podcasters and streamers and that sort of thing. And, you don't know what's going to happen until you try it.
It's, people, you tell people you're starting a podcast, and they look at you like, oh, cool.
Another
And I'm
one.
sure I'm sure you've gotten those like reactions.
No, Well, I'm pretty eccentric, so when people ask me,
They're not
I
surprised,
have
like-
some more crazy shit to say on top of it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, dude, like, I'm starting a podcast, and I shoot cops, and he shoot me, and it's crazy. And a video we did, you know what I mean? Like, like I'm doing a podcast, and I'm fucking jamming with Black Crown Initiates, guy fucking, like, the guitars from these fucking bands. Like, what? Like, how the fuck do you know these people?
Yeah.
So I always
they
have
saw
some
it
shit to
coming.
tie in with it, right?
Okay.
But, like, I've had the thing where I'll hear that someone, I'm going to start a podcast. And it's like, alone? Because I'm doing it alone. Doing it alone,
Dude,
man.
there was a time where
It's
we were
not
talking,
easy.
we were talking about wanting you on the podcast.
Yeah. And I would love to come on your guys' thing.
Yeah, that would be
Dude,
awesome.
as a guest, you have to.
A returning
There's-
guest.
With, a frequent flyer.
Ooh, I like
We'll give
that.
you a
I like
frequent
that.
flyer.
Do I need to put my American Airlines
Yes.
account in there?
And your social. And
Well, if you like to drink, it's United Airlines. United Airlines is the only.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That serves alcohol in flight?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
That's full. You're
Which
full
is
of shit.
Yeah.
Nope. Which is another stock idea, Brandon.
no.
I did not know that.
Because I've had
I've
alcohol.
gotten drunk on a JetBlue flight.
No.
and
Now.
Southwest.
right now?
Yeah.
currently?
This is as of
Right.
pandemic.
I'm invested
Interesting.
in
United, it's not as it's not like United Airlines is like, no, we're the only ones. It's other companies saying we're not doing alcohol anymore.
Well,
Wow.
like, this is kind of an
I get it,
interesting
but-
segue, but like you were saying about stocks and stuff. Are you guys invested in the stock market right now?
Yeah.
Dude,
to be honest, yeah.
it's a good time to grab some cruise lines and
Carnival,
airlines
like I-
if
Yeah.
you think that they're coming back.
Yeah.
Carnival, I'm worried about, and here's why.
Oh, great.
If you
Awesome.
watch episode, I can't remember which one. I had a guy that was a guitarist on a Carnival cruise line, like he was a musician.
Cool.
And
Cool.
he's saying like, "Yo, Carnival's fucking dying."
Yeah.
So I'm in Norwegian Cruise Lines and Royal Caribbean for reasons I won't go super deep into, but I've done
Yeah.
some research. Carnival, I sold all mine once they were up above what I bought them for, and they've kind of been declining while the other two have been not so declining.
Hanging in there.
Wow.
So assess your investment, because maybe they'll come out of it, but they have sold ships and stuff.
Yeah.
And other they're reallocating debts and things. Carnival is so.
If
Yeah.
Careful with
there's
them
someone
specifically.
that you want to go into right now, it's fucking Apple
Shopify.
and Shopify.
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 I got
Spotify.
Shopify early, and now I'm chilling.
You're hanging with
on
that.
the-
Shopify's
the
big.
initial investment.
Shopify's a big thing.
They're going
I don't
to be
even know what
huge.
Shopify is.
Shopify is
For me.
awesome.
It's like an e-commerce platform,
Yeah.
basically. They're basically
Drop shipping?
the way I got told about it before I bought them is Canada's using them as a platform to sell their cannabis line.
Okay.
And
Interesting.
if that goes well, the U.S. is probably going to adopt the same strategy.
Oh, really?
And dude, the Shopify, like they had their quarterly review, and they were undervalued, and the stock went boom.
When can I ask what you bought it at?
I bought it at 800, and it's currently
Yeah.
at more than that.
When I checked
It's like at
yesterday,
1,000 at least.
yesterday it was 1,024.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you're definitely sitting nice.
Yeah.
So
I didn't get enough of them. Like I didn't have the money. Like I lost my job, but I'm glad I grabbed them when I did.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's other stocks that aren't doing what I expected.
But
I wish I had the foresight to have bought gun companies.
yeah.
So high.
One,
I could see that.
Smith & Wesson and Ruger are like at the height of their value ever right
Really?
now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
if there's one thing that I don't know how far you want to get into it, but if there's one thing now that should deeply be taken into consideration besides Zoom is the fact that these schools, if they do think about participating, is that there's going to be a break between the demographic of 7th through 12th and K through 6th.
Yeah.
The younger kids are going to be either utilized through Zoom or actually participating live in school, and they're going to use those entire campuses to fill the classrooms and have it spread out. But the kids that are 7th through 12th are at that age where they should be able to sign in. Now again, I said about Zoom being an option, that's going to be fine, but there is this 105 I don't know if it was million or billion injection that is going to be coming with the second stim. And although everyone's talking about it being utilized for sanitization and stuff like that, there's a lot of bulls out there saying that they think it's going to be for
The schools and reopening schools.
No, for cyber school. And there's a company called K12 that has been I think it's since 1998 that they've been running, and they're the most promising company that's been doing this nationwide.
So it's like a public online school?
Yes, and public schools are able to pay. So you think about this injection.
Yeah.
So if you want to talk about stocks, right now
That's something
the issue is still like they don't know what they're going to do, but I'm telling you right now, I have heard and seen personally because of a relative, not even the kid, a relative getting tested positive for COVID, and they shut down the extracurricular activity because sports are starting to come up. They've shut that down, right? It's gonna happen if they go back to schools.
Yeah,
so
easily,
a lot of parents are gonna be like,
I want to put my kid in this school.
Exactly, because then you're making it more risk. Whether the schools have high protocol or not to keep these schools clean, I think it's just a safe bet to keep your kid at home if you can afford to, which makes sense for the 7th through 12th graders.
So, so what are you investing in then? Like as a result of this?
The company is called K12.
It's what do you use to invest? I use Robinhood.
Robinhood.
Yeah,
that's what I use.
It's on there.
And a little, it's a little bit of Fidelity too. But I mean, Fidelity I don't really touch too much. Robinhood is like
Let me ask you about the Apple thing. Why do you think it's a good time to invest in Apple?
I was telling him this yesterday, dude.
I'm not sold on it.
So
I want to hear it.
Let me hear it. Maybe I'm with you. I'm not an Apple guy.
There's
so I'm gonna be reserved.
I'm just gonna list them off. I can't remember. It's like 3 to 4 things.
It's top level stuff. I'm not gonna be interrogating you.
The one thing that caught my eye was they're working with a company to do the contact issue with Corona testing positive. So what that means is they're working on. I think they just confirmed a deal with a third-party app to be utilized within Apple to anonymously alert you whether or not you've come in contact with someone that has tested positive or within range.
Interesting.
Android has that right now.
I heard.
There was a recent update that if you have it enabled, apps that use the service can use it to track you.
Right.
And it comes disabled by default. I made a big stink about that on Facebook because I'm a huge privacy advocate.
Yeah,
right.
We won't go into it unless you really want to know, like my stance on.
Well,
things.
that's the double-edged sword right there. Is privacy versus knowing what's actually around you.
Yeah, I mean.
That's a whole conversation by itself.
Let's think of it utopian, right? Like, it's a great idea if they're not using any ulterior motives to track you or anything. Yes, it's probably a good idea to be able to track contacts through like humans to see how serious this virus thing is, because some people think like the numbers are overblown, some people think they're underreported.
Yeah, for sure.
No one really fucking knows, man.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's a startup company that's working with Apple, and they just invested $100 million. So with that being said, once that happened, it was over the course of one day, their stock went up $40. And I was on the tail end, so I didn't get, that $40. But, I was like, okay, that's
short.
what got me
Just
intrigued.
keep an eye out, yeah.
The other thing is they're about to release their quarter. And if you look at their last quarter, they went up, I think it was shy of 100, it was around like $80 that they went up. So you're almost, you're guaranteed some positive revenue. On top of that, they are releasing their new phone. And their new phone is going to have the Bluetooth wire or the Bluetooth charging, so it's going to be in range.
Oh yeah, I heard there's like a big fiasco about that. That the newest phone doesn't come shipped with a charger.
Yep.
And their whole spin on that was like the e-waste, or like like a lot of people. Like, I guess the argument is they throw their charger away when they get the phone because they already own one.
Right.
Which makes me mad that there's people like that.
Yeah.
I'm always like, oh, this is good they keep in my car.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
put it somewhere.
Anyone that fucking throws anything brand new away.
Yeah, how many Apple chargers that
for sure
lose,
the
though?
bathroom
Like-
one. What if I'm pooping and I'm on like 10%? What's a great time to charge, man?
Right.
Exactly.
I don't have the luxury of a poop charger right now. I just went from micro USB to Type C recently. You know what I mean? My chargers are stringent at the moment.
Yeah. So the coolest thing though that really brought my eye was that I heard that Apple is doing a 4-to-1 split, meaning their stock share is going to go down to a 25% decrease. So if you own a share of stock right now,
you get 4.
You get 4.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people with that knowledge that are buying in now, because if you think about it, with how well Apple is known, their share goes down to 100 or whatever the 25% decrease is. I'm not saying like who can't afford $100, but who doesn't know Apple and know of like how well they've been doing, and it can afford at least $100 worth of a share.
How much are they worth right now?
They're at, last time I checked, they were at like 434, something like that.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
I might look into it. I might even inbox you later about it.
It was just tons of
good. Let's not bore the audience with these, particulars, but like that's really good information. Anything you guys want to touch on before we like kind of let's segue?
Yeah, I'm proud of
should
it.
segue.
So
Right. I was gonna say I'm proud of this dude
for knowing his shit.
Because like first off, like I started talking about stocks and he was interested, and like I got involved. And I'm playing the long game. I took out of my house savings. I'm trying to buy a house in about a year, hopefully. And so I took out of that. I'm like, maybe I can capitalize with the pandemic. I'd feel stupid if I didn't. And I got Carnival. Okay, but I got.
Dude, I said, man, like if you just do your homework, it's not a bad move. Like any of those is probably a decent move if you're confident they're not gonna shit the bed.
I got Live Nation. And I got the Jets EFC, and I got Sirius, whatever, because of Warren Buffett. But
speaking of
but
that,
he sold like all his airlines.
He dumped over $1 billion in Bank of America.
For what?
Because he said supposedly the long run, he said it's gonna skyrocket eventually. Yeah, and I don't know why. That's literally like there was like an interview, and that's all that was taken.
Except,
But aren't they doing that like that new? Don't you see the commercial like, oh, we're not a bank, we're like
yeah, they have that kind of
cafe.
Yeah,
there's so many people that are confused with that.
Oh,
Capital One. It's Capital One that does that.
Okay.
And that's the interesting thing. So I was gonna ask you guys. So talking about stock buying apps, right?
Avocado, leave me alone.
Who's Avocado?
Avocado's one of my regulars. He's saying to go to bed. It's 1 a.m.
Bro.
Oh, man, we're out here thriving.
We just ordered pizza. Where you at?
It's on its way.
Bro.
Yeah.
Avocado, come through.
Jose is on his way.
I don't know where I've actually
Avocado,
never
where you
met
at?
this guy. This is just a good fan of the show, man.
Hey, that's what's up.
Right
Stay
on.
around, man.
Avocado,
So-
you are the man.
Bro,
Hey,
if you were local, you could have came through and got pizza.
Bottles up for the man, Avocado, right here.
Yeah, I need a freshie, but yeah.
Avocado.
Yeah.
You need a freshie?
Yeah, I do
Holla
need a
at your
freshie.
boy, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to get a freshie.
Essentia water, overachieving H2O.
But yeah,
Like and subscribe.
Cool. Let's get off stocks because that.
Wait, I just have one question because
go for it. Shoot your shot.
He's like, fuck it.
I want to ask this question.
Damn, how many
you guys
Rolling
know
Rocks
over
are left? Pass that. Pass that.
Keep going. So my question is, all right, so like because of these apps and because of the climate of things happening in the world right now, right? Do you guys think these apps like Robinhood on Cash App as well, you can invest, that's where I use the Charles Schwab, which I've seen commercials for as well. Do you think that's gonna dilute the stock markets because it's gonna become more readily accessible for people to throw in $5, $10, $20, whatever they want?
Robinhood and stuff, like all that stuff's been around for quite a while, and there have been penny stocks around,
Very
long
true.
before these apps.
Yeah, Jordan Belford.
Yeah.
Are you talking about like no? You're talking about full permission on fractional share?
Yeah, kind of thing. Yeah.
Because you can't do that from the gate.
Yes. Yeah.
So you have to get like, I don't know what you would call that, but Robinhood has a beta for that right now that you can apply for.
I just got accepted to it too.
I'm still waiting.
Yeah,
I'm still waiting to
That's
get it because
interesting. I haven't really used it because I don't know. The problem with that one is if you decide to move your investments to another firm or something. I'm thinking long run.
Yeah.
You can't do it if you have fractional shares. You can only do it with full shares.
But
So,
I guess
I'm avoiding that as much as I can. But like I said, like Shopify's not cheap right now, and it's only going up. So I might.
Well,
I was interested until you guys said
couple
800. I was like,
But there's some stocks like that though that are really interesting. So my question kind of is in a way is like, do you think stocks being more readily available is a positive? And I want to say more so it is because it is more readily available.
I think 100% it is, and here's why. Right? You know what a Pareto distribution is?
all right.
Let me give you an example.
Yeah.
That's very relevant to this conversation. 10% of the people have 90% of the money,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So the problem is these people at the top can invest so much and compound their money so easily with tools like the stock market.
Yeah.
The more access people like me and you can have to those things, the better. Because we're not only feeding the economy by buying up the stocks and keeping Wall Street churning.
Yeah.
It's forcing you to educate yourself. Like instead of looking at boobs and butts on Instagram, now
Correct.
you're like, you know what? I'm actually kind of curious of the white papers by these companies. Like I want to know
the
what's
purpose
behind
of the
this.
injections.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think 100%. It's
I think
it's a great thing.
in a long-term sense, 100%.
Yeah.
But
what do you think one of the negative facets are
is
of that?
Is that
What do you think a disadvantage is?
So I guess, and only because I'm only asking because this is this is a really good conversation and very relevant now. But I had a conversation with someone earlier today, and I guess so. I don't know. It's my dad, but so I was like talking to him, and he was just like he was reading something that was like, by someone. So say you see the Shopify app being cheap right now, right? Just as an example, right? So you see that being cheap, but it has a high margin for scalability. So you being a younger person saying, "Oh, I have $500 I can spend right now." Sure, right? You're gonna put the $500 in with the expectation for the company to scale, but then they don't scale. So like, what do? In the short-term sense, you're definitely taking the risk. As a young person, being somewhat less informed on the actual stock market or how the stock market may perform, and and the other interesting aspect of that I've been really trying to pay attention to is the day trading versus the long trading. because you have a lot of day trading that's like, you know, if you buy into Spotify or Tesla, I see those personally as long-term investments. But if you look at the day trading, it's going down and down and down. You know, but if you look at like Tesla just announced that they're under construction with the Gigafactory in Berlin. They just announced another one in Austin. You know what I mean? So like they're announcing positive quotas, like they're pushing things out.
Yeah.
So on paper, it might look like the stock is going down. And it's like, what the fuck is going on? But they're still announcing things. So it's like, what's real?
You have to think of it relatively, right? And let me touch on that from two different perspectives, right? The Gigafactory is being built where? Where is it?
Berlin. I think,
right?
Yeah.
What stock market are you concerned about? The U.S. stock market, right?
True. Yeah.
So that's a foreign country that news about a company you want to invest in is happening to.
That's
so
true. That's a good
Berlin's
point.
market's about to go up, right?
Alibaba.
Sure. Yeah, we can touch on that at a different time. Exactly. Touching back on like the young kid with $500 to spend, right?
Yeah.
So let's look at this in the frame of reference like a girlfriend, right? You're gonna get bit by some bad girls if you're looking to make a quick buck or a quick fuck.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna say like unintelligent. Like,
very true.
Yeah,
that's a good
spending.
point.
It's a quick way to lose money.
It's a quick way to learn too.
Yeah, definitely.
So you're gonna learn from dating this unstable chick, just like you're gonna learn from making this $500 quick investment to try to make a quick buck.
I got a good scenario with that.
I'm just saying, like that's literally what it is. And if you're anything, and this is what I'm saying, if you're anything like me, you're gonna make a lot of those mistakes. But I learn from my mistakes all the time. This podcast is a great example. That's why like I knew like, oh, it's about to rain. Let's pause it now. Let's not like scramble when it's
when
really
it's pouring. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
my just real quick. My quick scenario of learning that is Brandon told me to invest in Hertz, and I'm like, fuck, that stock is going down, man. And I was like, shit, I'm losing money right now. You know, like crazy, but
invest in what?
It hurts.
I told you to invest in it.
Yeah, you did. You're like, yo, all transportation right now. Man, it's gonna come back. I'm still sitting on like -$3 right now. It's been like that for a month.
Be patient, man. I mean, dude, think about it.
I don't know.
If it's transportation, if it's like think of the quarantine, right? Like, some things that I invested in, I was waiting for them to go up, and I'm like, you literally need to wait maybe a year, man.
Yeah, no, that's literally what it is.
The world's not going to go back to normal anytime soon.
No, and it's the opening and closing of the whole thing. These are some slow investments, and if this is my advice, right? If you didn't have the money to put in, if you didn't have the money to put in to lose, you didn't have the money to put in to gain.
Pizza's here, baby.
Yeah, Pizza is here.
Yo, he's got to come. I don't care if it's Corona or not. Yeah. Like, it's got to be contact.
We should definitely ask him a question on the cast.
Yeah. We should ask him if he has invested stocks.
Yo, let's ask him
Do you
about
invest in Domino's?
Yo, for sure. Well, Domino's, I heard pizza companies are doing really bad right now for some reason.
Which would be totally surprised.
Which wouldn't make sense to me.
Have you ever come across a time where you want to quit your job?
What's up?
Has he ever come across a time when he wants
to do you need it?
Quit his job?
Oh, him?
Yeah.
Yeah,
what's going on?
Come here.
You gotta get in the screen.
Come on, man. Let me ask you a question.
What's up?
All right.
You can use the mic.
Yo, tell me right now. Like, do you invest in stocks or anything like that right now?
Sir.
Yo, all right. Tell me. Like, what have you been investing in lately? Just talking to that mic a little bit, if you can.
My guy's been telling me a lot about something like with the what is it like with the plane services right now, like JetBlue and whatnot.
Yeah.
I heard Kodak.
Kodak was nuts.
That just went up
came
crazy
out of nowhere.
Right now. Yeah, yo. But do you guys fuck with mutual funds?
I don't personally, but I'm invested in a firm that does that for like my 401k.
So like, what exactly is that? Because I keep hearing about this. I heard about stocks and I know about stocks.
Yeah,
mutual funds is like I don't know.
Usually that stuff is more. It's like safer stuff. Basically, you're putting money in for someone else to do the job of the investing, and that's a really probably not the best example of me like of how to explain it. But like that's a really top level of my understanding on it.
Yo, are you guys invested in stocks? Like,
we were literally just talking about it. That's why I was like, we gotta ask the pizza
so how's
guy.
that going for you?
So right now I was just telling him like Shopify is a really good one if you can afford to get in right now.
Like overall, or it depends on the stock. So like some stocks, and like and also the other thing is like we were just talking about is day trading versus long-term trading.
Nathan,
Yeah.
Former friends on the podcast.
You guys are off camera right now.
Yo, for
I'm
real.
a general manager at a beer mart, but I'm also doing this part time because I'm trying to buy more stocks.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Look at
that's
this,
awesome.
man. My
Especially right now
God.
with the whole market going down, but it's the perfect time to buy.
It is,
yeah,
dude.
exactly.
It's
The Jets
it's
EFT.
the perfect time.
Oh man, just like I only invested a little bit.
Yeah,
in the long game.
but I was
yeah.
saying like he's invested in Carnival, and that's one of the ones I recently
Yeah,
sold.
and then he made me feel like shit.
No, don't feel like shit, right?
He's like, oh, you didn't get Royal Caribbean.
Royal Caribbean was another one that I was invested in when I had Carnival. Then I read news about them tying. I'm saying the wrong words. They're working with Norwegian Cruise Lines on some strategies,
Yeah,
and their administration is working together, and that's why I think those two are really good to buy. And a reason Carnival's not the best is because they're reallocating a lot of debts and selling boats right now.
Holy shit.
Not the best option, in my opinion.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, these companies have they have a lot going for them. They're not just gonna. The CEOs aren't just gonna be like,
Yo,
fuck
come
this.
on, don't call it a comeback.
Yeah, they're gonna
Don't call it a
try to
comeback.
do
I'm saying like if you're gonna buy them, be strategic, do your research. Airlines are the shit though. Like
Yeah, that shit going
American
hard.
Airlines just tied with JetBlue. They just made a partnership too.
Yeah, but I can't wait
So-
to travel for real. Bro.
Yeah.
But I hope the stocks go good for y'all. For real. I hope y'all get like a bunch of blessings with that and everything. But I hope that goes good. All right.
Yo, pass them that.
Yeah, we got a card.
Scan the QR code on the back if you want to watch the interview,
Yo,
dog.
say no more.
And when your shift is over, you're welcome back.
For real. Oh man.
That's awesome.
Stop at Mary's Six Pack and grab some. Yeah. Yo, pass the pizza though.
Yeah, let's pass
Please,
it.
guys,
Um,
please.
Pass
All
the
right, so
positive
check this out. This is what I'm gonna do while we're eating pizza, right? I'm gonna ask this question. It's gonna be really top level. I want you guys to kind of hit this one at a time, right?
Yeah.
What are some things? I really want to hear mainly podcasts, but there's gonna like, especially from Nate, like he's a musician, so he's gonna have some different tastes or answers here. What are some things that inspired you to decide to do this project? What and take it in the direction that you're doing? Like, I'll give you an example for me, right? Like, obviously, I'm a fan of the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah.
I like the long form podcast kind of flavor.
Right.
But what are some things that inspire you guys?
Go ahead.
Jimmy, go first.
Yo, I want some of your pizza.
Here.
Oh, well, thank you.
So let me I just want to make sure because I was getting all the pizza. You said like, what's the thing that inspired to get this podcast up
Yeah.
and running?
Yeah, like I was saying, like one thing that affected my podcast is a Joe Rogan podcast. I took heavy influence from it. So what are some things, including podcasts, like mainly podcasts, but anything else that kind of made you want to do your podcast and take it in the direction that you're taking it?
I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I'm not big into podcasts. The extent that I went with, like prior to all this, with podcasts was Joe Rogan, the one that Brandon always had me listen to,
Joe Budden.
Joe Budden, and there was like a couple other ones that was just like, it was stuff like based on like astrology and stuff, just like kind of like somber stuff that I listen to at night just to kind of like mellow down to. But I mean, as far as like inspiration coming from the podcast industry, there wasn't a whole lot that I saw that made me go, that's it, that's what I want to do. It was more so what I touched on when we were sitting out there with me having such a huge passion for music and wanting to have a larger fan base to give them my taste. Like, I'm not saying that I have a perfect taste by any means, but
That's what he's saying.
As as far as being a musician and having such heart for music, I learned to appreciate all different kinds of music. I'm not just here just because I like rap and I make rap doesn't mean that that's all I listen to. It's literally all over the board.
You learn to appreciate quality.
Yeah. So what I did was I started to really dive into the people that were underground, the voices that weren't heard. That's the thing that inspired me, because I wanted to help be a part of that fan base that brought that to light. And if I could be a voice for those voices that aren't heard, I thought that would that's what's cool, you know.
To be the plug.
Yeah,
The music
basically,
plug.
you know, I would be the plug. That's where it stemmed from.
I'd say. My bad. I didn't even give you a chance to react, my guy.
No, I was basically just gonna acknowledge it. Like, that's awesome. One thing I was gonna ask actually is, can you give some examples of some underground stuff that you're into?
Mm-hmm. So the hip hop industry is mainly what I would focus on, but there was a lot of undercover metal bands. I would really love to give you metal bands that I would have in my playlist, but right now I can't think of off the top of my head. There is one though that my a friend of mine that went to Muhlenberg, he's in, and he actually toured outside the U.S. I'm really struggling on trying to remember, like,
What's your friend's name?
Is that Zach?
Zach Costello. Yeah,
First off, he's really good at football.
he's amazing.
Never
drummer.
played in high school though.
He's a good drummer. I don't think he's in the band anymore, but when he was, like, they were really starting to pop off. So anyway,
Where did they tour?
they went into Canada. I can't remember exactly where, and it sucks that I can't remember because I'd love to, like, you
I
know.
don't know a lot of them. That's why I was trying to, like, let me think where they were.
It's not a Life Defined was another band that I had some mutual ties with. But as far as, like, dude, I had a huge list, but it was mainly heavy metal, rock, and hip hop. One of the biggest ones that recently took off was Arizona. I don't know if it was Zervis or Zevis or something like that. The song Roxanne.
Yeah, I know the song.
Okay, so I heard about that dude prior to him coming out with that single Roxanne. And when I heard his voice, I was like, this dude's gonna pop.
Wait, is it a band or just a rapper?
No, it's just a rapper. And he came out with Roxanne, and I was like, this is going to pop.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the most recent ones. The one right before that, that's relatively recent, is Jack Harlow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you heard of the song "What's Poppin'."
Maybe.
Have you listened to the radio lately?
That was basically his debut. But I've been listening to him, like, since I was in high school.
You say it.
Wow.
Whatever it is.
I think Villain of the Story, is that his band?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It should be. That sounds right.
Yeah, they're based out of Minneapolis. But I guess
He had.
he had ties in it.
Mm-hmm.
No,
It's
that's
just not-
that's awesome. It's not unusual for them to be, like, multi-state members. Like,
How do you do that?
dude? I don't know.
He said no. That was a big reason. I don't know. I don't know if they took time off or if he took time off, but I remember him talking to him about it. And he said that was one of the reasons why it was so hard, because they're all over the place and they had to, you know, make it work and come together. And during, you know, at this time when you're this age and you're trying to get your life going, you know, I can only imagine, like, how stressful it is. You know, trying to make your dream come true with little time, little money. You know?
Yeah, but at the same time, I feel like I could see some bands, like, especially very musicianal type, like, you know, multiple piece type bands. They could have a drummer in this state in the Midwest, but then also have a drummer on the East Coast. So if they're going and doing a full on tour, 30 shows or whatever, so you know, maybe you have the lead singer, the lead guitarist, second guitarist, whatever, you know what I mean? And then you have a drummer, you have a fill-in guy that just they just kind of rotate guys. They have, you know, a network of a handful of few guys that they really like around the country that they can.
I know main outfits will they'll outsource members like that.
Yeah.
But I
It's
like
hard, though,
I like
at the same time.
like what you're saying. Like, it makes sense to do that. I don't know how common it is though.
Yeah, I don't really know how common it is.
It would make sense to do that.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a lot of mouths to feed at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, and certain. Go ahead. You got super excited.
I just realized something.
Go for it.
I went into my playlist because I felt really bad. I was like, oh my god, because there are so many artists that I listen to. Like literally, there are so many underground artists that I have in my playlist. It's pretty much all that it's filled with. Besides Drake. Love him, but I mean. Joke. It's funny because I just remembered there's an artist that I am still like somewhat in communication with. Like I was texting him not too long ago.
Yeah.
The crazy thing is I found out about him about I want to say 2 years ago. His song was on the radio, and it wasn't like the regular like FM. It was on some sort of satellite station, and to be honest, I don't really know. But I heard it, and I was like, damn, it's a good song. So I Shazammed it, found out where he was from. He's based out of Georgia, and his following is like 10,000 people maybe at that point in time. It was like super low. So I was like, oh, okay, maybe this guy's like statewide. So like, I've been following him and stuff, and for the fact that I was in PA hearing his song on a like XM station,
that's pretty big, yeah.
I was like, holy shit, like what? I didn't know like how financially he made that possible. I don't know, but I was like, that's insane to be able to hear that on a radio station so far away. So I followed him, I found him out, and then I tried to get in touch with him through Twitter, and it actually like I got a reaction out of him.
We could call him right now if you want.
Yeah, like it was crazy because this guy, the way that he raps, he talks a lot about issues that are going on in society, and one of the most recent things are the BLM. So like it's this, if there's a time for him to thrive, I'm not saying that, I'm not trying to be a guru and say like, oh, he's definitely gonna pop now if there's ever been a time, but
it's just the stars are aligning.
The rap, the way that the hip hop industry is moving, everyone's taking like a timeout and focusing on this Black Lives Matter thing. So this is where he's definitely going to excel. So I've seen him come out with stuff, and I've seen his fan base grow. He's got to be up to like 30,000 people now. He isn't touring, unfortunately, but like
yeah. I was doing that for a moment where I was trying to get gigs while this COVID thing was going on, and I got one.
Yeah.
But the venue had to shut down because the area that they were in went back into red phase, and then restaurants are fucked for capacity.
Is that where you were you playing acoustic? Was it solo?
Yeah, it was solo, but it was acoustic and electric. I have my electric guitar, I do loops and beatbox, and then this acoustic is where I sing.
I didn't know if that was like recent, because I think I saw
everything I've been posting as of late. I actually brought my camera because I was like, I really want to give it a shot to try to do that. And I got paid a decent amount, like obviously not as much as I normally do, because despite a good number of people showing up, it just wasn't the same.
Johnny's breaking the seal.
Yeah.
My bad, I'm sorry.
But yeah.
I don't want to butt in.
No, it's all good. But yeah, that was pretty much my shot there. And I'm just kind of waiting now. Like, it's hard right now. It's a hard time for musicians right now. Like the fact that people can't get out and perform, it's
all
a rough
money
time.
Basically comes from touring.
Yeah.
Not to
They
say
have
they
no
don't
way of
merch, man.
But yeah, you have these artists that are signed, that are coming out with singles. Yeah, they're getting, money.
That's why nobody's dropping albums really right now. Either.
Except for the big names are, because they're still able to get away with that stuff, and they'll still be okay because they're already, they're already.
I feel like the middle of the pack ones are dropping right now because they know the top people, like say Rihanna. What Rihanna was supposed to drop, Drake was supposed to drop, all that stuff. It's like they're holding off because right when you drop the album, you tour, and that's not an option right now. So.
It's a very limited
But if the
option,
middle of the
for sure.
road dude drops right now, he's looked at as higher than he actually is, if you ask me. You know what I mean? Because nobody else is dropping. He has no competition.
It's a good time.
It's like if I went and I competed against a youth football team, I'm gonna look sick. Like word, but like, yeah, that's.
I think
funny.
in a lot of ways to piggyback off that is, and we talked about this before, but it's like the Travis Scott being on Fortnite and different artists being able to tag into those kind of different fields and different demographics and pull up, go into the gaming world or the sports world, different artists that can diversify into those kind of realms. And some of the band stuff, I actually work with a guy who drums. I forget the name of the band off the top of my head, but it's pretty heavy metal, kind of thing. But they tour a good amount, and then they actually had a brewery, I think in Virginia, North Carolina, something like that. They liked the band so much, and it might have been a friendly situation, I think more so. But they were like, "Hey, we'll make a beer for you guys." And doing collaborations like that, and then it's like, oh, this beer is actually it's good, and if it does get on in a seasonal sense, go on and promote that, So it's like if you can be, have that kind of influence or that kind of pull and that kind of thing to dive into different markets. I think now more than ever to just try that. I think and I think even going forward in the next 6 months to a year. Anything goes like that, anything to kind of get your name out there. If it's working with making whiskeys and things like that.
Especially with working with local companies, like if that's your hometown. It kind of reminds me a couple episodes ago, I shot an episode at Saucony Creek Brewing right over here on Penn, I guess it's not Penn Street, I think it's Franklin Street. But I had Matt Bailey on, and we shot our episode inside the bar, and we live streamed, and he brought his TV, and we played Smash Bros on stream and everything.
Is that the owner?
I had the interview. What's that?
Is that the owner?
No, he's a local musician. He's a local legend. Right? No. Matt Bailey's a big buff black guy. He's got a beautiful angel's voice. He's amazing. He's an amazing specimen of a man. I love that guy though. If it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't be the musician I am now. But enough blowing him. We had an interview, and Saucony Creek was yeah, you can totally do it here. I was yo, what do you guys think of letting us drink some of your beers on stream, and we'll leave the cans up, and we'll talk about the beers because they have the descriptions on the cards. For each of these beers. So we're yo, there's a perfect way to get buzzed. On stream. We actually got pretty bombed
for free.
They were husky boys.
Wait, was it sponsored or?
Basically they sponsored us. I was giving them a shout out, yo, thanks for the beers. We're in your location. Thanks for letting us use this location. Because as you know, even right now, the location for my podcast is not a static thing anymore.
Yeah.
As I'm working on my school bus. And once I get that back online, I'll have a static spot, but, I'm working on that still.
I have a quick note about the Saucony Brewery. So, when I was in high school, right, I worked at a beer store and up in Allentown. And it was a pretty newer style distributor, so they did a lot of distributing. So they would get a lot of wholesale, and it wasn't really it was a family owned, but it wasn't really your local mom pop shop. They weren't just selling Budweiser and whatever, And starting back in the 90s, they were more into the Sierra Nevadas and the craft brews, and before there was this is back in 2003, back way before then. Long story short, so I started working for this. I was in high school, so I worked in there a little bit, but then. Went in the office the one day, and there was a skateboard, and it had Saucony Creek on it, and I was like, "What's the skateboard sitting here?" And it had no grip tape, no wheels, no truss on it, nothing. It's just the deck. And I was like, "Yo, this is sick," and it has a really cool graphic on it. So I was like, "Yo," I went to the owner, and I was like, "Hey, can I have that? Can I have that? I'll give you some bucks for it. I'll give you some money for it." So he told me about the brewery. So Saucony Creek is owned by I think he's a BMX rider, and BMX or skateboarding, one of those. But long story, like somewhere he's in that kind of field of things, and he was in the X Games. He won a few like trophies and stuff, and then so as a marketing thing, he was like, hey, like I'm gonna put together skateboards and like basically things that just decks, sell the decks, put those in bars, whatever. It's a cool thing. Like you don't really see that, you know. So
that's crazy,
right? Yeah. So
I did not know
this is like 5. This is 7 to 8 years ago now at this point, you know, and literally, like, I'm not even joking. I can send you guys a picture. I have the skateboard in my room, no grip tape, no truss on it, nothing.
Well, good. At least you didn't like get rid of it.
Oh no, it
still sits.
It's awesome. I just look at it. I think it's cool. So like, I'm not gonna get rid of it.
You're gonna ride it?
You didn't jack off to it, did you?
And none of that. Dude. I'm not gonna put wheels on it. I thought about putting wheels on it.
This thing's sticky.
Yeah, but like, yeah, it really takes the rails pretty good. But yeah, no, that's my story for Saucony Creek, and I think you brought that up. And I was like, no way, that's cool.
That's,
you know,
small world shit,
Bro.
man.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
It's weird how that happens like that.
What now he was asking before, and we were gonna go one at a time. I want to
Sorry.
know what.
Unreal.
I want to know your story. I want to know what inspired you to do the podcast. You know, tell them, bro.
Yeah. So
Fucking let them know.
we've touched on it a little bit.
I don't know. man.
This pizza's
Well, let 'em
awesome,
know
by the way.
again.
Yeah, what was what's some things that affected your influence on the podcast?
So in general, I like. I don't want to say like I love opportunities, and when it comes to production, I just see that as like, all right, what do we want to do? You know, it's like a blank canvas, you know, and that's the majority of the way that I see that. And so I've thought about podcasts and different things before. I've recorded podcasts in the past, like other people's. So I've kind of done some different things like that. And so, and also working with Brandon in the past, like, you know, we've always had a good like working relationship, and different jobs that have came up, and it's like it's always been positive. So it's like it's like a sloth. But you know, but it's like that's the thing. It's the chemistry. You know, it's the opportunity and the chemistry. So it's like, why not? You know, let me see where this goes. Let me see what what these guys are thinking. Let me see the intriguing points about it, and you know, see if I can bring some value to it, and see what, you know, where these guys where their heads are at, and where that can go. That's a strong, like, that's 75% of why I'm like,
You thought it would be interesting.
yeah.
Why not? Why not?
But no, but like that's the premise of like a lot of things in my life. It's like, this is something I enjoy. This is something I like. There's aspects of this that I like.
well, let me ask you this:
Yeah.
what are some podcasts you listen to that you think you'll take some influence from that'll help you? You think structure your experience with? By the way,
So one of my big ones is Gary V.
yeah, I love that guy.
Yeah, and like,
I thought I was gonna say no jumper.
Adam 22.
I'll carry on, but like the Gary V was like, I was on him like 2014, 2015 kind of thing, like early on. And his content then versus now was much more like fundamental, like opportunistic, but like not like more be yourself. It wasn't as inspirational as it was like just like, what are you holding back for? Why is there a risk? Like, in getting past the fact of like getting past like the mental blocks, right? Especially in college, like that was something for me where I was like, all right, how can I become this person? I love how I'm sitting here with just a full-on pizza in my hand. I'm just talking, you know.
Dude, it's a fucking
Sometimes
vibe.
You just gotta hold.
It
the
is what it
pizza
is.
Yeah,
while
it's like, you
talk,
know,
man.
it's good. It's chilling, you know. So,
it is. We're
but-
all chilling.
But yeah, no, like that kind of mentality, like, and I was trying to figure myself out a little bit, and so it was like, that was a breakthrough of like, you know what? Fuck it. try it. Got, and being early 20s, it's like, I learned a lot of this from his early interviews and podcast type stuff and all that. And it was just like, just taste a little bit of anything, taste everything, see what you like, what you don't like. And I feel like, the Submission Arena stuff talks a lot to that. Just like, let's just try it, see what happens. And it was a really cool run for when it was and what that was, and then the experience that you got from that.
Until it wasn't no more.
But that's an internal factor. But the external factor is like, go for it.
I'm really glad I met you guys through that.
Yeah, no, 100%, dude. Like, that was a really cool turning point for things, and an opportunity again. But real quick, some other interviews that I really got into was, the one is the No Jumper
there it is
podcast.
Tell me about that one. I don't know that one.
So it's this guy, he goes by Adam22. It's LA based. So he was a bike shop owner, BMX. He was really into the BMX scene, skating scene, all that kind of stuff. And then, LA people kind of thing. And then, in the back of his story, started doing a podcast. And it was smaller rappers here and there kind of doing some stuff. But then he started having more creditable people on, and then just building it over time. So just doing interviews, really.
Mm-hmm.
And so you just started having some younger rappers on, and some music video directors, people like that. Just people in the thriving LA scene. It was like people almost like Skrillex, people like that were coming on, kind of thing. In that early scene of things. So just diving in, I like people that are especially early on in their careers when they do stuff like this. They're more cultivating what they're trying to talk about rather than, hey, you did this, let's get some publicity for this thing over here in the third. You know what I mean? It's when you talk about hey, how did you meet up and create this song? It's more organic. It's especially early in their careers, it's
Mm-hmm.
It's a little more eye-opening, I think. It makes it definitely interesting. So that was one. And I could go on and on, but that's one of the major factors early on that I liked about their podcast. The other one, I like the Joe Rogan stuff a lot, and I think his stuff is a little bit more timeless, especially the people that he has on.
Have you ever listened to his Kevin Hart?
Yes,
he has
Kevin
multiple
Hart
ones with Kevin Hart. The most recent one was really good.
The most recent one, they talked about eating habits. The eating habits that they had, and talking about all meat eaters versus vegetarian eaters, and it's like, what is an ox eat? Everyone always says to be as strong as an ox. Well, an ox doesn't eat meat. So that theory, that ideology, and I thought that was a really interesting takeaway from that's what Joe Rogan likes to talk about, those kind of conversations. I think that's a really interesting viewpoint on things. So podcasts are like that. A lot of some of the other guys I mentioned, I like the early stuff just because it's more organic.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I like interesting conversations. I don't really care why you for the publicity aspects of it. I want to know why you wanted to do it. Yeah, if that paints a better picture. But all right, does that answer some questions?
Yeah, it definitely does.
Yeah,
Pretty cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I'm gonna finish this pizza.
Mm-hmm.
I said this to the guys when we're sitting down and really getting to know each other. I got into this. I don't want to go 6 feet deep before I know I created something on this earth, right? So I want to create something before I pass.
Touché.
I want to leave a mark, and whether it be video, whether it be whatever, however, I want to do something to leave memory or whatever, and only that'll last for so long before people forget. But
it's hard to leave an impact like Sir Isaac Newton. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. It's depressing, honestly, how people forget about you so quick. But yeah. So I'm not usually in front of the camera. I'm not usually behind the mic. I'm usually behind the camera and behind the mic.
Yeah. And, You're not usually in front. So
this is all kind of new to me, but I'm kind of starting to. Excuse me. I'm kind of starting to like it a little bit, and just one of the people that influenced me is Joe Budden, and I'm a faithful listener of that guy, and he hates him, and that's okay.
Hate's a strong word.
He dislikes him, but I just like, first off, what they talk about the industry of the music industry, and I kind of like. Was I influenced by that? Is our podcast like? Yeah, it's influenced by that.
I think like one thing that you shouldn't be scared of is saying where you were influenced. You know?
Yeah.
Because you should give credits to the people that inspire you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
That's why like I have like a laundry list of like if anyone ever asks me like, oh, what inspired you to do this? I'm like, here's what. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, dude, I listened to the Joe Rogan one too, but I just didn't find inspiration from that. Johnny sent me a meme maybe like last month, and it's like what listening to a podcast feels like, and it's Nate, Johnny, you sitting in a chair, and then an empty chair with just like eyes. You know what I mean? And it's just like you're there but you're not there. And so after being that empty chair listening to the Joe Budden podcast for so long, and like, oh, I want to chime in on this, I want to chime in on that, I want to chime in on this, and like, but you know what, I'm never in front of the camera, I'm not that person. Yeah. And then I said Nate, like, I'm like, well, not me. Exactly what I did with Nate and rapping. I said, bro, listen to Asher Roth. You should be a rapper. Why? Because I want to be a rapper, but I'm not good enough. So I did that with Nate. Bro, you should start your own podcast. He calls me. Let's start. Like, bro, you can do it. You can get in front of why not? And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. He was the second person that told me that. So here we are.
Yeah, man. It's a good place to be. Like it's interesting what you touched on, because I can resonate directly with you, right? Like, it's so easy to want to be the center of attention. Like, oh, like I have so much to say. I'm this cool personality, right? But no one wants to do the work behind the camera, because that shit's hard. Yeah. All the shit that they can't see on the camera that's to the side here, this shit's hard, dude.
Yeah, it's not easy.
That is so, like, do you know how many fucking mistakes I made before I learned that I could do it all by myself?
But you love it, bro.
And, dude, I'm walking a tight wire every time I do this, because if fucking Comcast or the power goes out or the rain fucking drops, it's like, yo, this shit is so fucking fragile, but it looks good right here.
Yeah. Only with them.
People don't understand that, and it's so cool that, like, you can identify that. Like, you understand the process, and once you actually get in front of the camera, it almost gives you the appreciation you get over this is, it's night and day over anyone who never tried this. Yes. You know what I mean? It's a night and day.
They think they can just set up their phones and it's gonna go cool. Like, and when you say, like I said, like when you say, oh, I'm gonna start a podcast, they look at you. Well, I mean, how I feel they look at you is like, why don't you do something real with your life?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, go work in medical
field. What are you,
field,
you're 26 almost? Like, what are you doing with your life? A podcast? Like, but you don't know how hard it is. And first off, like, there's a lot of people making a lot of money, first off. But that's besides the fact. There's a lot of skill that goes into this shit. And it just sucks that you got to freelance to make that money.
Yeah, dude.
Have a consistent.
I'll drink to that, bro. Fucking.
Well, I mean, that's
freelance squad.
Like that.
I mean, all that though, like the whole freelancing aspect of it though is like, you know, and the crazier part is that, especially in the event industry, it seems like the better guys are freelancers.
Yeah.
And then the guys that are just trying to make a living work for the companies, you know?
Well, you know what's really cool, man?
That's very true.
Yeah, and that's the interesting part.
Think about the freelance thing. Like I'll come from a place of music, right?
Yeah.
When I play a show, I charge what I think my time is worth.
Yeah.
It's the only time I can do it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the only time in the world I can do it. I can do IT, and I went to college for IT, and I have these extravagant certifications, and I have these years of experience to back me up. But I'm making, 20-something an hour.
Yeah, it's
My time's worth way more than $20 a fucking hour, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Come
I hear
on,
that.
man.
Yeah.
I could be watching, fucking Netflix right now. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is a freelancer says, this is what my time per hour is worth.
Yeah.
And then here's what it's going to take me to drive there. And if you want me to bring this extra equipment, it's going to be inconvenient to me. I'm going to charge an extra $30 for that too. Right?
Yeah, I mean,
That's the one time you get to do that in your life.
Yeah.
And it's like it's the closest you can get to a business owner. Without owning a business, is saying like, this is what my service and my people's service is worth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know like
a good
Ross
point.
has a fixated rate. You know what I mean? Like if you want to be a cameraman, that's usually this rate, unless you're around for like a year and you've proven yourself. Like we can bump you up to this rate or whatever. You know what I mean? Like there is fixated rates, and as you get more respected, you can create your own way. Like, dude, I am worth this, and as you get more
And
respected,
having the confidence
the
with it.
union fucks everything over. But I
Yeah.
wanted to say, like, being in New York when everything went on shutdown, I was in the Barclays Center when all of NCAA got canceled. The day after dude got the coronavirus and they shut down on all the games
whole
and all that stuff.
NBA, yeah.
And in the morning we were about to do the production, and you heard whispers of the security guards like, yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen, we might cancel it and all that stuff. And then it actually happened, and like they were doing super slow-mos of them peeling up the decals on the court.
Yeah.
And just the cameraman that is kind of like in a union and all that stuff, he's telling me like everything just canceled on me. I've lost I've lost a certain amount of thousands of dollars in work in about 30 minutes,
dude. Right? It's crazy.
and I was just like, I'm so glad I have a full time. Like, yeah, okay, all my Ross and freelance money goes to like home savings. But imagine if that was
your dependent thing,
and I can't.
It's just the goal, man. There's 100. Like I'm not dissing anybody who has like a full time job, because obviously you have benefits, like you have healthcare and everything, and as a freelancer
pros and
you don't
cons.
get that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's definitely pros and cons, man. It's just what it comes down to is where do your aspirations lie? And if you're constantly sharpening your axe, your freelance ability will go
Through the roof.
and of course the market matters. You can't be trying to do this during a quarantine event.
Yeah, definitely. It's one thing they're doing now is there used to be handhelds under each basketball net, and the guy that's on the handheld, and then the utility that wraps the wire. That's 4 jobs right there. And usually I'm either the utility that wraps the wire or I'm the handheld. I can be game. I have been game camera, the wide angle that shows the actual game most times. But like, they're doing away with all the handhelds now just due to the coronavirus. And it's RoboCams that are like connected
That
to.
sucks.
It is. That's 4 jobs right there gone.
You're going to see a lot of that, I think, across a lot of different boards of the entertainment industry.
I mean, NASCAR does a bunch of RoboCams, and that's what it's going to end up being. Like,
Yeah, I mean, but like all the talk shows, you know what I mean? Like even all the talk shows in New York, like that's all probably going to become RoboCam stuff.
Yeah.
You just have to, it's point and shoot, a lot of that stuff, to be honest.
Well, if you like, even without the coronavirus, you think about just
In a long-term
automation
sense.
taking people's jobs was already a concern. Like,
Yeah.
who's the guy? Andrew Yang was talking about, like, that's why we need the universal basic income thing. Just because there's going to be so few jobs left that people can actually do. And I think what one of the big arguments is, creative jobs machines can't do.
Yeah.
So people just need to be more creative with the jobs that they can do, and that's kind of why I'm doubling down with the podcast thing.
Well, no, but it's more than so. Like, I don't know. My perspective on that is like you talked about IT and you talked about the creative things. So you can put it this way. I think everything that we're doing here, right, is a step forward, and I'm trying to think of the best way to word this. Podcasting and streaming and things like that has only been around the last 5 years, realistically. So it's like new technologies are kind of becoming available, and so whenever a new technology like that becomes available, especially to the overall mass market, everyone's gonna just jump on it, or a good handful of people are gonna try to jump on it, develop it. And then it becomes more of this, oh, hey, it could do this, it could do this, it could do this. And then people realize, oh, it could be used in business, oh, it could be used in this, it could be used in this market, And I think that's this most stronghold aspect that the creative market will always have on the technology market, because it takes the human factor to create the solutions for the more difficult scenarios of making a factory work or whatever that may be. It takes the human element to apply the technology to the scenario.
To add to that, what he was saying and what I was saying, like the handhelds being done away with right now, hopefully coming back. There's still a person that is connected to that wire that connects to that camera, all the way back in the production truck that is controlling that camera. So there's still somebody doing that.
True.
You know what I mean? Like, it still takes a human.
Someone still has to frame it in and everything.
Yeah, with
too.
a fucking remote and shit.
Well, even like on,
But
like
they're
when
in
you
the
first
union.
mount it, you still,
So
when you first mount them, like you still need to frame in the shot and set the fucking settings up on each machine.
Yeah.
You know what
exactly.
I think is astonishing, and this just comes from ignorance, but to see how much wireless connectivity has become so prominent in technology, and yet you still have, case in point, we have XLRs and stuff like that. We have the lines that are running.
Literally, every camera that goes into like TV production, it's all hardline for the most part. Like, there's some NFL cameras that are handheld that aren't, but for the most part, yeah.
And I get that hardlining is insurance, but like,
oh yeah, man.
Why hasn't? Is there something that I'm missing? But why hasn't it become wireless yet?
So you can So I'm going to talk from a networking background. This is IT Brad coming out.
Here he is.
I'd like to hear it because I always thought it was interesting.
So the fact of the matter is, signal interference is a super, super, super difficult thing to work with, especially when you have, like, for example, a sports game where you have people in the crowd with their cell phones. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's constant there's constant shit going through the air that's gonna want to fuck with my signal.
Yes.
And you want as clean a signal as possible.
Yep.
And even hard lines are interferable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this can still be like affected by radio transmission. No. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. I remember I used to play in my basement on my guitar amp, and I would crank it up, and I would occasionally I could hear the radio through my fucking amp.
Oh, no way.
Because it would just pick that shit up. It's crazy.
That's
It doesn't sound like it's something that makes sense, but it's so legit.
Yeah.
There's constant wavelengths going on, and when you have wireless bands, if I want to connect this microphone, I want to use channel 1.
Yeah.
If I want to use that one, I want to use channel 5, because I want channel 3 in between them to not be.
You want them to be separated.
Exactly. I want a whole other band to be a buffer between them, so that there's no interference between that. How do I know everyone's fucking cell phone bands aren't on those?
Well, so that's an interesting thing. So I was on a job somewhere, and we were talking about this, something similar, And so there's a few different things. So like some of the shows that we do, there was one specifically when we were in Dallas, and so we were at this hotel place, and literally there's train tracks, and then across the street there was a big ass building, and it was an old radio station, basically, right?
Yeah.
Big tower. They still operated out of there. I don't know how many channels came out of there, but our guys had troubles basically trying to find stations that were available because that that radio station took up so much bandwidth within the area, in the local area. So it was kind of interesting. But the other part of that, though, is that, and I'm not super versed in this. I don't know how much, this or that.
I can touch on it, but go ahead.
Yeah, you might be able to. But when the military wants to come in and buy ranges of frequencies, which they are able to do, or if a phone company wants to come in and buy ranges of frequencies, which they are able to do.
Yeah,
it gets very hairy and difficult, but it's a thing.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. There's really good reasons. You ask anyone in the industry, we have an option to go fucking hardline.
Yeah.
Ethernet.
Oh yeah,
100%,
dude. Yeah,
shit's gonna go wrong.
Yeah.
There's so much shit going on in the air, man, and it's so much easier to troubleshoot too. Like if something's going wrong and it's everything's hard line.
Yeah, replace the cable.
cable.
Yeah, exactly.
Too easy. Dude.
just fucking replace it. Yeah.
Oh shit, something's going on with a wireless connection. All right, tell everyone who has a cell phone to turn their cell phone off.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
5 different things, One of the funny things with some of these events and some of these product launches is one of the announcer, or not the announcer. Oh shit.
It's the reason they make you turn your
you
shit
doing?
off in the airplane. It's the reason we have airplane mode. You know,
You know
what
what's
I mean?
funny is I never do that shit.
I never do either.
Yeah.
Just because I understand it at a fundamental level, and like it's like the likelihood that this is gonna happen. You need a phone that's really designed to fuck with their stuff to work.
Yeah, it's really not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Like, it's exactly. You need more like a super powerful signal.
Yeah. Well, you need a super powerful signal that's working on that band. And
that's
cell
the other
phones, none of the Bluetooth radio,
like
the
4G,
3G, or 2G,
frequencies.
or even 5G radio. They don't work on those. I mean, let me not talk about 5G because I don't know much about it.
I was gonna ask about 5G.
So check this out, right? Everyone says 5G causes coronavirus. That shit's a meme. But I will tell you this, right?
Funny as shit.
Now, what about the radiation though?
Yeah, so that's the thing that kind of has me messed up, right? And here's why. Does it cause a disease? Maybe cancer, maybe. And here's why I think. So you have these things called HF, right? What's HF stand for?
Something frequency.
High frequency, right?
Yeah.
Then you have VHF. That's what...
Very high frequency.
Yes, exactly. And I'm pretty sure that's the band that like 4G and like... So let me back up. Do you know what the G stands for in that?
Gigawatts?
No.
Gigahertz?
It's actually generation, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
2G is the second generation of cellular technology.
Okay.
3G, third generation of cellular technology.
Gotcha.
4G, fourth generation. What's LTE? Long-term evolution. So there's been more generations while LTE has existed. There's already been a 5G that has existed. It's just they branded it LTE so they could just keep developing this shit without renaming it. You know what I mean?
Interesting. I
Yeah.
did not
So
know
that's what that's for.
Imagine 11G.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
does that-
So this is the thing, right? And I didn't actually look into this too much, but
That's really interesting. Just
yeah,
to start it off there.
yeah. So then you have these things called UHF, which is ultra high frequency. When you're talking about radiation, right? Radio waves that actually cause radioactive attributes in wavelengths to occur. So some people are saying 5G operates on that. I can't confirm that because I'm not a 5G expert. I never worked with it, so I can't actually tell you. And Google and Wikipedia can only tell you so much because people want to fucking make up their own fucking articles on this shit. So find a reliable source. But if it does work on a UHF, it's concerning that they're putting them so close to where people live. And maybe in a few years we'll discover maybe 5G is causing some cancers. But everything causes cancer these days. I don't think it's causing anything else though.
Peanut butter caused cancer at one point.
Cheese and rice.
Isn't it you that sleeps with your phone under your pillow?
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, that's bad.
Somebody else?
No, yeah, I don't.
I knew a guy that wouldn't put his phone in his pocket. He always kept it on the hip because he was scared the radioactive shit.
Yeah,
the quick
touch his
release
balls
is
and
real,
give him
dude.
testicular
No,
cancer.
but the thing with the 5G,
For
so
real.
one of the big differences though that I've read upon is that so the 4G is a so they're all for high frequencies, right? But the 4G can transmit at a much longer distance than the 5G. The 5G is stronger, but with a shorter width span, basically, that it can transmit at. So therefore, you need 10 times as many transmitters around a certain area just to transmit that higher signal.
And here's what's scary, right, to me. This is what actually kind of has me wigged out, right?
Yeah.
And it makes 100% sense. Think about your Wi-Fi router, right? 2.4 gigahertz band, that's older technology, right? That's like your older phones, and it's a little slower of a connection. But you want 5 gigahertz if you're gaming, if you're going to stream your like super fucking cool Fortnite Apex Legends shit,
It's the same
right?
thing.
You know what I mean? So 5 gigahertz gives you a larger bandwidth. I can't remember exactly what it is right now off the top of my head, but you could Google this and I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
I've worked with this shit for years. This is the problem, right? 2.4 gigahertz can propagate through walls much easier than 5 gigahertz. And then they even have the next generation. I can't remember 100% what it is.
Beyond 5?
Yeah, there is one. I can't remember because in enterprise you don't use it. It's some shit that consumers use in like gaming routers and shit like that. But anyway, that stuff can't go through walls. In fact, it has a hard time going through people. Like if the router's right there and I have my back turned and I have my phone here, I'm gonna lose signal because it's bouncing. It's trying to pack more wavelengths through objects, and I'm not going to try to sound smart like I'm a physicist and I understand this, but it's at an atomic level that this is happening, and it's the reason you need more, right? So that's what I'm concerned about. Like the 5G shit is throwing crazy amounts of these radio waves out with like compared to other things. We're gonna see something maybe like so they're gonna discover like, oh man, maybe we shouldn't be bouncing these fucking things around because they're causing people to have fucking schizophrenia or something. I'm just kidding, like that's
but
but
there has to be some type of fucking effect going on.
No,
with
so
all the signals going on.
do you
I don't
see
think, like I said, I don't think it's something that like, oh, it's caused COVID or anything like that. It's like we're gonna find out in like 10 years that your fucking mom died because she lived near a 5G.
Well, here's some of the things though. So it's like people that live in apartment buildings that have a 5G tower on top of them, we start reporting signs of headaches and nausea and things like that. And so when they do a test, it's getting high frequencies transmitting through your body from these cell towers.
Well, here's the thing, right? Like they have studies on this already where if you kind of like whitewash yourself, like let's say you're someone that works in IT or some shit like that, or you're around technology all day. If you go into the woods without your phone, like they have scientific evidence that shows like because you're not around where signal's bouncing and your brain can have a break from that shit, it actually has a positive effect. I'm not going to go super into it.
Yeah,
I can't
it's
remember where
neuroscience
exactly I
and
heard
shit.
it, but I have heard that, and they had some like they cited some good sources on that. So
yeah, I can believe that.
I'll quote because anecdotally I just did that actually. I went to Slippery Rock with my girlfriend and a couple friends. We just went out in the woods and like I let my phone die the first day, and I was like, all right, cool, let's fucking let nature kind of hang out.
That's awesome.
I got great sleep and everything.
So, but do you ever see the stories or pictures or images or whatever of so you'll have a tree next to a 5G tower, and half the tree that's closest to the tower dies. Basically, it loses all its leaves.
I've heard so many stories of like that kind of stuff and like birds dying in the area and shit.
Yeah,
like
that's a big one
I've
too.
heard that stuff. I haven't heard it from a reputable source yet. And
That's true. That's a good point.
Once I do, then I'm 100% on board with it. do I like hearing those rumors? No, that shit scares me. I don't like it. I don't want to live near a 5G tower. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. It makes you not want to.
But like I said, at the same time, is it giving you COVID? Fucking no, dude.
So here's
gonna give you cancer in a couple years, probably.
Here's a question though. So I guess in that sense, if you could, and if you had a choice, you'd rather have a hard line,
100%, always hard
for 5G versus anything else.
No, I mean for anything, any situation, like coming back to Nate's point. Always hardline, man. It's a more reliable connection, like you said. It's more insurance because like, oh, this is the dedicated line that goes to do that.
100%.
And it's just like this is the thing, right? Like let's say you're putting an event together. Do you guys do a lot of wireless shit? Or do you prefer to run lines? It's like, nah, man. I want to reliably provide my customer with a consistent.
Why would you roll
service.
the dice?
Exactly. Why would you roll the dice, dude? Unless you have a guy that's watching the fucking bandwidth, or not the bandwidth, but the wave bands of what is walking in and out of the event as far as signal.
Yeah.
You don't know who's doing shit. Like, dude, there's like radar jamming shit you can buy.
Oh, 100%.
If I wanted to fuck someone that I know is a wireless guy up, like, oh, we're gonna Bluetooth.
Yo, there was I think it was
Bluetooth is such a shitty protocol too. If we're gonna touch on that.
Oh
for a
yeah,
moment.
100%.
There's so many security vulnerabilities in Bluetooth. Like that shit is fucking not good. Like it's not a good technology. I never.
It's easy.
I use it when I'm in my car. I turn that off on my phone when I'm done. Because it's easy to get through your phone.
It's interesting that you say that. And so, like with iPhones, right? Every morning, and there might be a way to turn it off, but every day. So if you turn your Wi-Fi and Bluetooth off, say at the end of the day, next morning it's automatically on. They have settings on your phone where it automatically turns those things on.
I noticed
after like when it's a new day, right? So what is your phone? Yeah, low key though. Like, what is your phone opening you to then? Because it's picking up all these extra signals, not just a cell phone signal.
Listening to you snore.
I mean,
fuck
whatever,
that.
whatever.
But they can tie in, a lot of different ways.
J-Way. The frequency coordinates the big sport events. The police. Wait a minute. What?
Oh, he took it away.
What?
But,
Come on, J-Way.
Come on, man.
Come on.
What J-Way had said is there are frequency police at these events so that they can use wireless devices. Like one of you were mentioning that there are still walking cams that use wireless as opposed to using a hard line. And that totally makes sense. If you have a dedicated person watching that, you don't have to gamble, right? You don't have to roll the dice if you have a guy watching it, like I was mentioning.
Yeah.
But if there's no guy policing those things...
So some of the events that I've been on, we have... So obviously you have your main audio guy running in front of the house, but then we have a guy in the back who not only is miking guys up, right? So because that's part of his job, but he's actually in the back, and we do a sweep of frequencies before the show happens. We do because they'll have their mic set up. They have a program that they go through. They find what frequencies in the area in the hotel. Mm-hmm. They figure out what the hotel's on, what else is in the area, and then what can we live on that is interruption free because it's a high end show. So
do you know what that's called?
The software?
Well, the process. It's called heat mapping.
I did not know that.
That Wi-Fi, we do that with Wi-Fi as well.
Like but in general, it's called heat mapping.
Like if you're in exactly.
Interesting.
Because you want to know, like, I have an app that does it myself. It's called Wi-Fi Analyzer. It's free, actually.
Yeah,
I'll endorse it. It's good to see it. I mean, they're not sponsoring me at all. They should totally pay me for the shout out. But that's the app that I use. And it's called heat mapping, and it's something you can use to before, like if your client's in a campus environment, like a strip mall or some shit like that, you can go in and say, Beer Mart over here is using this band, they're using this channel.
Hotels in the cities,
we're gonna be safe right here. So this is how we'll configure everything.
That's we have guys that kind of go in and figure that out. I think the program might be Benchmark or Bench Tool or something right in that kind of ballpark. But one of the other interesting things, because we're talking about frequencies and interrupting frequencies and things like that. So a lot of times our guys, so in the back, because we have different mics for different presenters, go up all that kind of good stuff, right? So when mics aren't being used, they put them in tin cans or like in aluminum little hot dog trays because it cuts out all the frequencies.
A Faraday cage.
Yeah, basically.
That's cool.
So then we're not
That's cool that they do that.
we're not interrupting our own frequencies or our own systems kind of in place.
That's really cool.
Yeah. I never really heard of that before, that being like a tool. But yeah, like our main audio guys are like,
that's interesting with the hot dog tray thing. The Faraday cage is
it cuts frequencies.
I always wanted to build one and just put my phone in it at night, but I never did, just because it's kind of pointless. But one thing you would want to do, like if you wanted to go off grid, you would totally want to own one of those. Like throw your phone in that while you're driving your location.
So
you can't get tracked.
This is a little off topic in a way, but the I'm gonna butcher her name, Glyciane or whatever, Maxwell.
Yeah.
The whole Epstein thing.
Son of a-
The what thing?
What is the dude that
Epstein.
Epstein.
Yeah, so his like counterpart, the woman,
wife, yeah.
Yes.
So
her.
How
So
the fuck do you pronounce her name? I want
I
to
don't know. I seen it.
So, but hold on, you know who we're talking about.
We'll
So,
call her G.
so yeah, so an easy, so a very similar thing. So when she was recently arrested by the FBI, when she was arrested, her phone was found wrapped in tin foil.
Interesting.
Yeah, so she wasn't in it. Like they were all like, "Oh, maybe she wasn't trying to be caught by local police and things like that." But she's not trying to be seen by the FBI.
I don't know how effective that is, because I know.
On a large scale.
Well, no. It's if it works, right? But I don't know how effective aluminum will work, because this is what happened. I'm gonna butcher this story.
Yeah.
But there were CIA operatives somewhere overseas, and they thought you could just drop your phone in like a Doritos bag, because they have that film on the inside, the metal film, and you could just fold your phone up inside of that. And
something similar.
It doesn't work like that.
Interesting.
You need a more sealed solution.
I feel like
because of that, what they were doing is they would have phones. They would destroy the phone and swap the SIMs. Yeah. But the problem is, I can't remember exactly the name of this shit, but I know it's like IEM. And then the EITN or something. One of them is a serial number that's on a phone, and one of them's on a SIM. Whenever you put them together, that gets logged. Yeah. So they just kept tracking where these SIMs are touching which phones, and they were able to find these fucking CIA operatives that were in another country, and they got caught. Yeah, because they were just doing sloppy fucking practices, man.
Oh, that's really interesting. Yeah,
lazy espionage.
So it's not even
Google it. Like I'm butchering the story, but it's you know where
Dude, that's interesting to fuck.
Yeah, it does. And my favorite podcast is called Darknet Diaries. And
wait a minute,
I've seen Joe Rogan. I'm pretty sure that's where I got it from. No, it's not Joe Rogan. It's not my favorite one. Joe Rogan's a great one, and it's highly influenced mine. Yeah, but Darknet Diaries is my favorite podcast. Okay. I've watched every single one.
So what about replacing the batteries in the pigeons?
You know what I'm mad about? I can't replace the battery in my fucking phone anymore.
Yeah, that's
wait a minute.
That's what hurts.
So it's like Apple now?
It is, man. The S9.
So here's a quick question, and I think you guys would have an interesting perspective.
Look what he does with his mic.
It's okay. Just calm down. It's 2:30 in the morning. All right, calm down. So one of the interesting things I think about with Apple and over the last 15 years, whatever, versus PCs is how Macs or just Apple in general has moved to a fully enclosed system versus PC, where they're like, hey, we want you to kind of come and test things, or hack in and try this or that. Like,
you would think that, right? Like, you're talking about the enclosed system in the sense of the physical architecture or the software?
More so. So it was originally software, but they're moving to a physical form now as well.
Yeah, I mean, they're sealed systems. You ever open an iPhone? I'll never
repair
an iPhone in my life.
No,
I'll never repair another iPhone in my life.
What's that?
They're
what
awful.
happened?
They use proprietary screws.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I'm talking about.
They're engineered in a way that fuck Brad. That's why. You know what
it's
I mean?
Like a BMW.
You need to buy the screwdriver.
Hey, man.
Yeah, exactly.
$150.
Exactly. They have special tools, special bolts, all that shit.
Special bullshit,
dude.
Man.
I'd love to have you link up with Chris, who worked at Apple and is pro Apple, and he's IT.
Yo, I'll get it. I'll get into arguments with him, and then we'll start agreeing on shit. Like, trust me, bro.
Wait a minute.
I'll be like, yo, you remember that time when they argued, they built this way, so you had to do this with the display, and you cracked the fucking outer glass every time? He's like, man, you know what? Fuck Apple, dog. You right?
Yeah.
He would say
so
that
delicate
shit
with
too.
that shit.
Was that a real thing though? If you did a certain thing, or,
I don't know which iPhone it is, but like the one where it was like where the outside was an aluminum kind of ring, right?
Yeah.
The front was glass, but the back was glass for some reason also.
I kind of
That started with the 4.
Yeah. If you would try to, I think maybe it was a 4. I could be wrong here, but I know if you tried to open them up without a specific tool, you break the glass on the back every fucking time.
So it's like if you were to take it to an Apple store, they're like, "Hey, man, you're corrupting this shit, and you're trying to do this and that." And
Yeah. Well, I
they
don't
would catch
know.
you.
It's just bullshit.
And then they would just void your warranty. You can't get it fixed now.
I can touch on, like, I don't want to go too technical, but I can touch on the software end of the things, right? So this is the way I look at it in a few words. If you're an Android guy, you're okay with Google kind of owning you, right? Because you're using a Google-based operating system, right? Because Android integrates YouTube, integrates Gmail, and Google Chrome as the basic tools you get it right out the gate. You can install other browsers and shit, sure. Like I can put Firefox or Brave on this, which I do, and maybe there's so few ways around that. But the problem is with Google is they have web crawlers and cookies on most of the websites that exist on the ClearNet.
Yeah. What'd you call it? The ClearNet?
The ClearNet. What you see if you Google stuff is the ClearNet.
Yeah.
The darknet is where you need Tor or like some other deep web browser.
I get that. Yeah.
So yeah, Google knows, right? So Apple. All right, let's talk about Apple now a little bit. You don't have all those things, right? Google's not in your phone. But what websites are you going to? You going to Facebook? You going to YouTube?
Pornhub.
You're picking up those cookies. Google knows. Google wins either way.
What?
You know what I mean?
Real quick though, but you can.
But you know who else? You know who else has your shit in that
What do
scenario?
you mean incognito? Yeah, we're good.
That's not how that works. I mean, actually, it is a good tool if you know how to use it. But there's better tools. Anyway, what I'm trying to get at is, do you want Google to own your phone, or do you want Apple and Google to own your phone? You know what I mean?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Dude, Apple is just so user friendly.
Yeah, it is, dude. Like, and I used to be like super anti-Apple, but now, like, if you give me an Apple product, I'll check it out. Like, I would love to run Adobe on an Apple product because sometimes my Windows shit like gets gay.
Well, that's one of the interesting things. I think Brandon and I have talked about this.
Yeah, it's totally fine.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's fine.
That's its preference.
Yeah, no, that's the interesting deal. Like these creative programs, like the mainstream ones, are all geared towards Apple products, and I
wouldn't say that. It's just that Apple's like he said, it's easy to use, and I think there's the difference between Apple and Windows right now. The Apple OS is super in it, like boxed off in it itself, and if all I'm using it for is video editing, it's not going to be clunky.
Yeah.
But Windows right now is such a fucking bear, dude. Windows right now, if you don't like, I feel so bad for anyone who has like a mom or like anyone that's not technologically inclined. It doesn't need to be your mom. It could be fucking you.
Yeah, like my dad.
If you're a dense person, like it takes a legitimate effort to clean out a Windows operating system from all the bloatware and shit that comes in there, dude. That's why it's so easy to install Windows 10. Even like you can just download Windows 10. You couldn't do that before with any other Windows operating system.
Yeah.
But they want you to run Windows 10. Why? Because they come with ads built into the fucking platform. That's fucked up.
Fuck that.
It's just my viewpoint on that.
That's interesting though.
I won't go into it too deep. Let's kind of backpedal.
Yeah.
We're going super deep into
the IT.
These are awesome. Like this is an awesome conversation. Like I'm glad we're having this over a beer. Like this is a great conversation.
Yeah.
But let's kind of backpedal. We were talking about basketball moments ago. I just finished a certain documentary called The Last Dance. And I was wondering what you guys' opinion on it was.
Oh, I watched it. I thought it was really interesting. You know, and I will be honest, the first few episodes, I don't know, I think it might be 8 episodes. I'm not fully sure.
It's
but
10.
10, okay. So the first few episodes, and I watched it when it came out on TV, right? And the first like 3 or 4 episodes, I was like, okay, like classic, you know, everyone kind of knows this Michael Jordan story and things like that. But then more, like as the weeks went on, I watched it some more. And then it was like week 7, and I was like, whoa, like this dude's like he's on some other shit, you know? And, you know, it's just pushing the boundaries of like human. It's not even just sports. I think, you know, if you really dive into it, and this is what I got towards the end of it, and I picked up on this a lot more, his drive is way beyond sports. It's about just human compassion and just trying to push the boundaries of yourself and what human capabilities are. I really think that. And the other really interesting part is his drive to win and coaching on the court. You know, there's very few players that are active players in the league that are verbally coaching on the court as they play. And it's very few, like there's maybe
LeBron,
it's very few, like there's maybe 10 in NBA history, you know. And I actually to be honest, I was having a conversation with my dad about this last night. We were talking about LeBron versus James Harden. And, you know, not how, like, you know, we don't have to go super far into basketball, but, you know, you have 2 very top end players, but the difference that really comes down to is it's not just skill set, but it's being able to articulate the game and talk about the game in a very now sense, you know, and talk about it, you know, take time out. Okay, well, this just happened, so let's do this, and coach it as you go. And that those kind of attributes and like the way Michael Jordan pushed in the game and what he talked about, and or just like what The Last Dance I think represents is that human pushing, compassion, and to not give a fuck, but all he want to do is win. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was a really interesting, unique. In a way, it's a very singular perspective because I think for the general population of people, the general mindset, I think they start to break down when they get pushed to those levels. And that's why I got taken.
I don't know how I feel about the documentary.
Talk about it.
I just like if Brad here was about to make a documentary on himself, had a whole film crew. They're all fanboys of Brad, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna make you an A1 documentary. It's gonna be on Netflix." Brad would be like, "All right, so like, yeah, man. So like, I started out, I got my own bus. I put a hot tub in it, and solar powered. Literally, it had dance lights in it, but only when I clapped 3 times." And like it was amazing. Like I had a whole living room and everything, and made a podcast, made it to #1 on the charts. Like I think he just embellished a little bit. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not the A1 basketball fan, but I mean, there's multiple sources that came out and said that he embellished a few things. And he's making his own documentary.
I could definitely, and of course, I could definitely sense some of that. But one thing that I really liked is that they kind of went into other characters like pretty in depth. Like I really like how deep they went in on Scottie Pippen.
Yeah, that was
I didn't know much about Scottie, but dude, like I fucking got I almost appreciate him more than Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Considering Mike left and he stayed to keep the team fucking going.
Yeah. And then he sat out and then won championship, and then
dude,
I forget who took the ball and made the shot. It was like, holy shit.
Oh yeah, it was the white guy.
Oh yeah.
The white guy.
Shoot him up.
The blonde boy.
Do you believe? And it's so crazy how these dudes looked up to
It was
Mike.
Steve Kerr.
It was Steve Kerr. Yes, it was.
Coach of the Golden State.
Yes. Wow.
No, but like everybody looked up to him, which was crazy. Like I don't want to leave this guy down. But putting that aside here, do you believe the flu game was food poisoning, or do you think he was just hungover?
That
because
shit, that
he
shit
talked
was
so much shit.
An interesting story, man. Like
the flu game.
Someone else gave the background of that, right? Like the
pizza.
The
came.
manager guy was the one that ordered it, right? And he said like, "Yo, like fucking 5 guys came to deliver this pizza, and they were like, looking in the room to see if it was Mike, kind of shit."
Yeah.
And he was like, "I got a bad feeling about this." I don't know. That shit was weird. That was a weird.
Everybody was like, "Nah, dude, he was hungover."
I don't know, but I don't know, man. Like, you can't know without fucking being there, bro. That's the thing with this shit too. Like, it happened in like the early '90s, bro. There wasn't cameras back then. Like there are now.
If you were Mike and you had the choice to create your own narrative, would you be honest?
Maybe. I mean, like,
if it's controversial,
if you knew you could get away with it, would you change up the story a little bit?
No, man. Like, cause if I got bombed, like I would. Bro, like, look what they did with Dennis Rodman in there, bro. Like, he was a fucking madman. He left to go do WWE shit, like, at the end. You know?
Yeah, they actually highlighted him pretty well.
I loved it.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
I honestly wanted more Dennis Rodman. I'm like, yo, can I hear more about this fucking guy?
Yeah, he was great. They had, like, a whole episode on him.
I know. I loved it.
I did like that. I like how each, especially in the middle of the whole thing, and then, like, I don't know, episode 5, 6, 7, maybe 4, 5, 6, 7. They had different people that they were
6, 7.
Yeah, right. Yeah, 69, but they were highlighting, different people, and I thought that was really cool.
I loved that part of it for sure.
Yeah, and it was kind of all these different characters that made up this, glorification of Michael Jordan.
Even
And
LeBron was in there, yeah.
Yeah, a little towards the end, yeah, and some of the highlights, yeah.
I don't know.
Wait a
Maybe it was
minute.
toward the end. I don't know. But yeah, that shit was great. Like the one thing that made me mad was with the Scottie Pippen's his contract, like how he got sold for mad cheap or whatever.
Yeah,
that shit had me fucked up. I'm like, oh, these sons of fucking bitches, rich
That's my
bastards.
boy.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, he's the actual hero in the fucking story. Bro.
yeah, but I think
He's me in Titanfall 2 being the support. I ain't even trying to be the guy in the front. I'm just trying to do the healing.
But when he set out that one game and Steve Kerr made the shot, I think that was just like, whoa, dude, like what are you doing?
Yeah,
and
it's good that he apologized. Like he did the right thing, like in the story that they told anyway. Like
yeah. But I think it's funny real quick though that he goes. They asked him if he would make the same choice again. He goes, "Fuck yeah!" Basically, he was like, "Yeah, I'll do the same thing again." Like, and I mean that's fate. That's what it is. But it's interesting.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah, like he's tall as shit.
Yeah.
and his suit was always wrinkly.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, I guess it's hard to keep like a perfectly ironed suit when you're like fucking 7 feet fucking
17
tall.
shit stacked high.
Dude, he's so fucking big.
You know what?
Why did he have to rat out all his teammates his rookie year when he first came into the league? He was like, yeah, nah, they're all doing coke.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
That is fucked up. For real, like,
that was like in the 70s.
Don't just take a Google search to see who was on the team at that time.
What
like, I walked in and basically the whole team was in there.
Dude, that was like 1970 something though. That was like 77,
it was like his
78.
first year. Yeah.
That's crazy.
That shit had me dying.
He got somebody in trouble.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you watched the Jordan documentary, huh? Yeah? Yeah, they mentioned your ass.
Are we surprised though? Like, yo, it's the NBA back in the 70s. Like,
yeah, he was saying about how they would also like smoke cigarettes at halftime and shit like that. Which kind of reminds me of my flag football team when I first started.
That's crazy.
They all changed around their lives. It was a good story, success story though. They all drink water now and exercise. So that's good. But
overachieving
anyways.
H2O.
I'm sorry. One of the interesting things I thought about this
is like a potathon.
That episode though, or not that series. He was talking about his kids, and how he talks about his daughter and her going to school and being like middle school, and she's obviously going obviously kids probably went to private schools, this and that, whatever. But his daughter was at school and the teachers and the kids that she was around were like, "Yo, like your dad's killing it right now," and she's like, "What do you mean?" Like, so she had to Google her dad to see what he did, And I think that's like one of the craziest things. You know, just like
She Googled her dad?
Wait, what?
yeah, she talks
Is that
about
a
it.
thing?
Yeah, they talk. There's an episode where she talks about it. She didn't know what her dad like. She knew he played basketball, but to what capacity?
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, he travels, does this and that. But like, you know, what's the it's your dad though. But like, so if you really separate your life, you know, like that, like it's just your dad. He just does his thing. But then you Google him and it's like article on article on article, you know, and it's just like, you know, crazy shit. Then it's
Who's her dad again? My bad. I missed
Michael Jordan's daughter.
Michael Jordan's daughter.
So
Yeah,
Michael Jordan's her dad.
Say no more. My bad.
Say less.
LeBron James.
Why would you
You
hide
know,
that from
like-
your daughter?
Oh,
Yo,
man.
Michael Jordan's just weird.
Yo,
bro.
she just didn't ask.
I don't know. No.
What you
That's
mean?
good.
Yeah, for real. Like my son doesn't ask me like, "Oh, did you have a riveting guest on your podcast recently?"
How's the
Doesn't care.
bus
He's
doing?
Like, he's like, "Daddy, play that cool song on your guitar again." That's all he cares about. You know what I mean?
Does he ask
Eventually
how
he's
the
gonna
bus
care.
is?
Yeah.
But you know, like Kobe, like with his daughter, LeBron with his kid, like
Yeah.
LeBron's kid. Why would you not show? I don't know, man. Like, why wouldn't you share that passion with your kid? Why wouldn't you pass that on,
he
or at
did,
least
though,
like
To some
put it out
degree.
there? And if they take the snack, like
Yo, but this is what I'm saying. I don't think that wasn't the case. I think he wasn't just saying like, "Oh, you know I'm the greatest, right?"
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's what it is. Other people had to tell the kid that he's the fucking best all around.
Yeah. Well, no, because you're not gonna tell the kids like, "Oh, I'm the best at this." You're gonna just be like, you're gonna probably be more humble around your family, and try to be yourself.
It makes sense because you want them to do your own research, see who I am, see who
Yeah.
I really am.
Right.
Stay hard.
I like. There's been a few clips of Shaquille Shaq, and he's just like, "Yeah, I don't want any basketball players in my family. Like, none of my kids. I tell them not to play basketball." Because he wants to.
his kid does play basketball.
I think one of them does.
Yeah.
But for the most part, he tells his kids, "Hey, I want you guys to go do other things. Like, don't play basketball. Like, go."
You can't be better than me. You'll always
And there's
be
probably
following
some of
my
that.
footsteps.
Yeah.
But like, go play. I don't know. Go play football if you want. Go start a business. Go do something more interesting than just play basketball.
Shaq's just mad because he can't throw free throws.
That's what it is.
Yeah, he's got
Wow,
that
but-
Dollar General though.
Yeah, I was just about to say that
Yeah.
shit.
He's on a lot of commercials though. He's making
He
money.
needs cash now.
Head and Shoulders.
Yeah,
No, not Head and Shoulders. Fucking
That'd be fucked up.
gold bond.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
he invested in Ring too.
it nurtures his skin.
Oh, Ring. I heard got horrible reviews.
Yeah, and it got hacked recently.
What did?
Ring?
What?
Neighbor has a
Ring
phone,
the TV the not
Yes,
the, TV,
the phone or
the door
Doorbell.
the
Yes.
door cameras. Yeah,
Yes.
dude, they are easy to hack. That's another concern.
I've heard that. There's been a lot of hackings of those.
I'm not even gonna touch on it right now just because it's so late. But yeah, man, like
Yeah,
it's not hard to just do your own fucking closed circuit television thing for yourself. It's cheaper and easier now than it's ever been. Quit
Yeah.
being a bum.
you're doing like 30% of it right here.
Yo, for real. I mean, don't do it this way. You're gonna spend way more money. There's way cheaper ways to do it.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm trying to say, right? It's almost 3 a.m., gentlemen.
Yeah.
I kind of wanna.
We could go for 6 a.m.
I know we could go forever because this group is chatty. But
We are.
this is what I want to do, right? I want to talk a little more in depth about your podcast, and then I want to kind of give it a cut for tonight because I think we're closing in almost
getting
4
late.
hours.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. So
Wait, real quick. Is this your longest podcast?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to do editing to grab the first segment and put it with this one. You know what I mean? You'll know.
Yeah, and get the pizza guy in there.
You gotta the pizza guys in
Can
there.
that be like
You'll have to beat 3 hours and 40 minutes. That's Ultraviolence record.
Okay.
Shout out to those guys.
So with the edits, it might.
So
But yeah,
I'm
let's talk on the pod. Let's talk on by the wave, right? So 2 weeks from now we're gonna get some episodes.
Hell yeah,
They're gonna be lit. We're gonna have some. I love the branding. Like I don't have the thing up, but like in the center of the
logo?
screen, the logo you have, it's neat.
Dude,
It's like it's like a sound wave kind of thing.
we are very particular. We literally spent. What did we spend? Like 50. Like we spent a lot of whatever. We spent money on a logo, and got rid of it. And then we spent money on this logo, and finally, like after the 5th rendition, we're like, nah, all right, we'll take it.
I don't even have a logo yet, and I'm 33 episodes into this shit.
You got the bus,
and that's what we're just. That's what we've been spending, and you said like we don't, we haven't had anything on social media. We're just building that foundation. Like we wanted to create our own
logo,
stream.
Man. It's gonna look good on a T-shirt.
yeah.
Like that's
the logo,
exactly why.
man.
And also, like you notice how it's in a circle. One of the thoughts was, what is your average social media icon looking thing?
It's a sphere.
It's a circle, yeah. So how can we create an easy logo that just fits
Pops
right into that?
in.
Well,
Boom.
yeah, and it was important for us to. We want people rocking our shit on their. We want to make apparel, and we just felt like that could be something like we would wear.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, I can't tell you how many times I'd get a logo back, and I was like, "Well, this looks good." Johnny would be like, "Yeah, I mean, I like it," and he'd be like, "All right, is it just me? Just look at the E. Just look at the E."
Yeah,
look at the E.
Yes.
It's just a hair off. I
was very meticulous about this logo.
Yeah. And the fonts and the way lines would go and interact with the lettering, and it's very.
This logo isn't the full thing. There's mountains behind the thing that make this thing. I remember the conversation for this. I was like, Matt, Kevin, I make enough decisions around here. Do what you want.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. Stop letting me don't let me influence it. If I don't like it, we're doing it. Like, I don't care.
No, and that's the same thing. They kept on going back and forth with the logos and sending stuff over. I was like, yeah, I like this one. This one's cool. All right. That sort of thing. Give my input. And they'd be like, no, this lettering is way off. I'm like, I like this one though. Like, all right, I guess you guys don't like it.
Well,
all right.
It's a good time, right? Like with the COVID thing, like you can take your time and make these moves.
True. That's a very good point.
Like we needed the logo. I'm like, yo, fucking make a logo, man.
Yeah.
I'm a last minute kind of guy, and I get bit in the ass because of it a lot, but that's how it is.
When we do launch, we want to. I'm thinking like. I was talking to them. I'm thinking like we do 1 week production week. We do that production meeting on Thursday, and we record and have it out by the next week, which will be a press week. Like, say, if we want to do a guest appearance on a podcast, or we want to do a photo shoot or something, like we can focus on that, or we can take it off. But like, I'm thinking about at least dropping 2 podcasts per month, maybe.
That's the goal.
And like we can up it towards that. We eventually want to get to we want to get to some streaming. We don't want to. I'm against streaming at all and giving the fans everything right away, because I do want to edit it and fine polish it. I'm just that type of person.
Yeah, man. If you have the mentality and discipline to do that, that's definitely the move.
Yeah.
I think this is. I tend to let my work build up. If I have a lot of edits going on, that's why it took me forever to get a lot of these edits out.
Yeah,
that I've gotten out recently, and it's because I finally have the time to do it.
I feel like I remember Joe saying
every
that.
one of these. If I have to edit every one of these podcasts, nothing would ever come out, man.
Bro. If you had to edit 4 hours,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like let it rip, man.
But that's what we envision. Hopefully, we can. Like I said, we've had it was almost a month. When was the last time we were together, man?
It was about a month ago.
We've had everything in place. We're literally trying to build our own website, and
which we own the domain for.
GoDaddy?
Nope.
Squarespace?
Almost. I forget what it's called. But
dude, yeah, it's like I said, it's been a month, and I forget all this terminology, which I could have flexed.
I forget what we used.
But it was pretty cool. It was insane what the .com price was, but we settled on .net.
Yeah.
So it is going to be bythewave.net.
Yeah.
Once we do have the
Network.
website.
How much was the .com?
The .com was $8,000 annually.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I've never owned a website. I wouldn't know.
The thing that sucks is if we put bythewaveentertainment.com, it dropped drastically. But I didn't want something like when I don't know if it changed ever, but I remember when I was a kid, I'd go and use my parents' computer trying to get onto Dick's Sporting Goods, and literally with ignorance I would type Dicks.com, and it would pop up. So that kind of always stuck.
Phallic objects, no doubt.
You have to type in dickssportinggoods.com.
Well, I mean,
so it always stuck in the back of my head. And By the Wave is like really, rolls off the tongue. So I wanted it to be bythewave.com. Eventually,
Who came up with the name? It's a weird name. What's the
Yeah,
name?
he whispered in my ear as I'm driving back from Harrisburg. We were trying to come up with names. They're like this? Nah, that don't fucking make sense. And like we were going back and forth, maybe like 3 days, and we had to take. There was one of the 2 weeks that he was pretty much at my house, and we had to take my uncle up to Harrisburg to drop off a tractor trailer that he just sold. And we're all driving home from Harrisburg. We're passing Lancaster. And we're on the highway, whatever. But he comes up to me, like I'm driving. He's behind me. He's like, "What do you think about By the Wave?" Something like that. Like,
what are some of the first ideas for the name?
Dude, do you remember? Son of a bitch.
off the rip.
Off the
I
rip.
like that actually.
Right? We like that a lot, but off the rip was used for many other things.
You remember, Johnny?
Honestly, no.
And I know off the rip was, I think it was your idea. I think that was one that he came up with. But when we looked it up, like
Everyone's
Google,
using that
it was
shit.
it was everywhere. You look up By the Wave, you'll be able to find our domain. Our domain's out there. There's nothing on the website, but By the Wave, those tags, there's nothing with that and just that alone that is out there with anything.
My first name that I wanted to call was the B League.
Oh, yeah. His original idea was the B League, and I liked it because I liked his
Because
reasoning
we're
behind
fans. You know what I mean? I looked at Joe Budden because I looked up to Joe Budden. Joe Budden has been a successful rapper, and then he's with. Have you pumped it up? Have you ever pumped it up? Pump, whatever. Anyways,
Pump it up.
yeah,
That's him.
yes,
That song in Too Fast, Too Furious. Pump. No, that's Ludacris.
pump it up.
That's not him,
That's him.
bro. I'm gonna Google him real quick. Keep going.
Anyways, so you got Joe Budden, and then you got Rory and Parks, which I think Rory works for Sony or Parks works. Anyways, they're all in the industry. We are not. We're not really. You know what I mean?
You're
So we're like
fringe. You're on
from
the
a
fringe.
fan's point of view.
Mm-hmm.
They're in the A League. We're the B League. That's my reasoning. And he was like, "You gotta keep your head high, bro. Like, think of yourself better than that." And I was like,
I didn't like that we were labeling ourselves
Yeah.
lower than
Where
what we
wanna
want to
end up.
achieve.
Yeah.
Not to say that we were doing that, but that's the image I wanted to steer away from portraying.
Build some big shoes so you can fit
I
them
listen to
later.
it.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I'm in the A League right now. I'm
Mhm.
Brad the fucking Bard.
Hey.
Damn right, motherfucker. But yeah, we
I like
settled
off
on
the rip. I wish that's
Dude,
what it was.
I if there was nothing else out there that had that label, we were definitely gonna roll with it because that's urbanized to the T, and it just sounds so cool.
Mhm.
Drake said it, so like,
But by the Wave really stuck, and it made a lot of sense when I was thinking about it. Like
yeah.
the wave in the music industry, is a common thing, and the
It's just
fact
a
that
popular culture, yeah.
we're talking about the music industry is the figurative sense of literally being by the wave. We're near it geographically. You know what I mean? In a figurative sense.
Yeah.
So I just thought like, damn, it has that. What is that? Is that double entendre?
Yeah.
Like two meanings kind of thing.
Yeah. So I was like, I still.
It was catchy.
Good. It's
Yeah.
pretty good.
So
Yeah, especially with the consideration that no one else took it yet. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's the interesting part.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's On the Wave. On the Wave is prominent through Google, but I
Yeah,
mean,
no
By
doubt.
the Wave is
Surf
not.
companies.
Yeah, yeah.
No doubt.
It's mainly what it was, all beaches and shit like that. So By the Wave was pretty cool. That it's funny because even he says like, and I can attest to this, like literally hours consecutively trying to think of something that we could brand ourselves with, name wise and logo wise. And if you balance those out, like the time that we put in for the name versus time that we put in for the image is way up here. Like I don't know if what Brandon said truly exemplified the amount of time that we put in trying to create the perfect image that we have now.
a week.
It was just back and forth nonstop, and trying to I was like drawing stuff and running it by him and showing other people and trying to think about what would copacetically work with the name. It was insane.
We're going through designers through online, and he's like
Using
the second.
Fiverr.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, we
Fuck
did.
with Fiverr.
So
I use them for a lot of my edits. Actually,
the second rendition, and he's like, "Yeah, man, I'm ready to drop this designer. I'm ready to go on to the next one." I'm like, "Yo, we got 2 more revisions left. Like, yo, relax." Like,
Yeah, he sent the first one back, and we were like, okay, maybe he just didn't quite understand. Maybe we needed to word it differently. And I don't know if then he took over. I think you sent the next message trying to help get a better understanding. He sent it back, and I was like, this dude's a no.
this ain't the dude.
Yeah, he don't give a shit. Whether he might have, not to talk down on him, but
he got hype. He's like, "Let me do the logo." I'm like,
yeah, I was like,
What, the dude said that to you?
"No, him."
Yo, but like, was it a high-end dude? Like, how much was that edit?
we didn't go for anything that was extremely pricey the first time.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah. The second time we found a pretty good deal for what she was offering. And
I think the first one was more expensive, wasn't it? Was it not? Maybe it was like.
I can't remember.
50.
Oh damn.
I can't remember.
I spent $50 on someone to draw a really big deal, like a logo thing, like for my gaming channel. So my gaming channel, I don't want to go too into it, so I'll really I'll go top level really quick. I have a gaming channel called Hero on the Bard. Me and my buddy Randy fucking stream Smash Brothers basically. So we had this idea that I have this picture of me at the Renaissance Fair where I'm like fucking barded the fuck out with a sword, and Randy has this cool like thing where he cosplays the fucking fat guy from the movie with the space Marvel characters. Groot's one of them. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Who's the?
Well, I was gonna say Fantastic Four.
Fat. He's the white guy, the main character.
Oh my god.
His name's escaping me. It's 3 a.m. Anyway, he has a fucking thing where he's kind of cosplaying him.
Oh, Pratt.
No. Yeah, Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt.
I don't know. Remember the character's name. But anyway, he's got like his mask up and he's got like a laser. So I was like, "Yo, can you do a cool thing where you draw me, where I'm like shooting an arrow at like some fucking bad guys, and he's like shooting lasers at the bad guys?" And then they did that, and that's like our bumper sticker logo. And it cost like $50. She did like 2 revisions, and she's the best.
That's what's up.
I will use that. She's like, I found her. She draws. She's like, she does tarot card art. I'm
Okay.
like, this is fucking perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it came out great, in my opinion. So we made bumper stickers and gave them out. It's fucking dope.
That's what's up.
I
have them with me actually. I'll give you one if you want one.
Oh yeah.
That's fine.
Stickers.
Dude, yeah, I had a logo designed for my flag football team, and when we went to go back, I'm like, dude, this girl is awesome. We gotta use her, The bitch deleted her fucking profile. Thanks for fucking nothing. Like, man, that sucked.
She probably went to freelancer.com, said, fuck this Fiverr bullshit.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to getting back in the swing of things. We're going to have a production meeting here and try to get things going. Try to get this website up.
Where's it going to be released at? Where can people find your podcast once it's out there?
We're going to have our own... I forgot.
RSS.
There it is. We're going to try to create our own RSS feed.
Mm-hmm.
We're working on that throughout our own website and feed it to Spotify. Feed it, to Apple, whatever.
The cool thing...
Let me ask you this. You upload your audio to the RSS feed and it's hosted on the website? You have to pay extra for storage, or do you have like a finite amount that you're allowed?
Our boy Chris.
So, according to Chris, which is the guy that's pretty much helping us set all this stuff up,
Apple IT dude.
The company that we are thinking about utilizing for this website has, for normal users, like a certain amount of space. But I don't know, 100% of the shit behind it. But because his name is being thrown around in this creation, we are given some like bonus stuff. So for an extended period of time, we're gonna be able to fill that up decently, and then down the road we're probably gonna have to pay for storage. I don't know what that all entails. I don't know how expensive it's gonna get, but we got some time.
I'm interested in doing something similar because as you may or may not know, YouTube's the only place you can find my stuff.
Yeah.
But I have all the audio, and I want to put it somewhere eventually.
Yeah.
But my goal right now is I want to become like a YouTube partner and make money off of.
The other option for audio is Spotify. We've been looking into Spotify too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Anchor.
Yeah.
Anchor.
But there's a lot of different.
I'm working on the YouTube first. Once I make partner, I'll move on to the audio only. But I want people to come here, so it'll make the process faster.
Yeah.
That's my thought anyway. I could be completely off with that, but.
Oh, the website that we are going to be doing is also going to have a user-friendly display for mobile.
Nice.
So, I mean...
You got a place to buy some merch?
You got that right. There's going to be a page that is going to say coming soon for a decent $1, and then you'll be able to get everything,
Eventually, there's going to be no podcast. We're just going to sell shirts. It's going to be all right.
Colgate is going to want to buy us out.
Yeah. We're going to make toothpaste. That's what we're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
But
all right,
we're looking forward to it. Whether this week or next week, we're trying to get this shit out ASAP. Mm-hmm. We do have a Twitter. We do have... Can you look up the names?
It's official By the Wave, or it is just By the Wave on the majority of the social media. I'll look that up. And
they interchange a little bit. Instagram, we are on Twitter, Facebook. What is the other one?
If you guys would have told
Facebook,
me that before,
Twitter,
we
Instagram.
could have got your overlay popping with those little icons for the tweeties. Yeah. But obviously, Facebook and Instagram are there. Don't forget to follow these guys as well. All of their handles are obviously on the wrong side of the screen. Oh, that's cringy. I always do that. I made that mistake so often where I forget where the names go. Because I could have laid this out properly.
Where it's like sitting underneath us?
Well, look, Nate, everyone's going to think Nate's the host because Brad L. Bard's under Nate.
Hi, guys. I'm your host. Welcome to my podcast.
But yeah, that's awesome. Any last words, gentlemen?
After just looking that up, it is either you can look Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. You can search By the Wave or By the Wave Podcast. It will come up. As far as social media, getting in contact, you can do it through there. We do have a Gmail set up. That's something that I can give you.
Bythewave@gmail.com.
Bythewave@gmail.com. So, and that's something that's also listed in the Facebook, you know, for more ways of communication. But I mean, as far as streaming, we are having that that website with the RSS and hopefully maybe other platforms eventually, like Apple and stuff like that. You know, the stuff that we're talking about now is going to be free, and Apple you got to pay for. Yeah. So I mean, you know, we'll get there, but eventually we'll get bigger. Start out small.
Yep, definitely. Build in an incremental way that scales. That's kind of the way I've been trying to strategize my approach to it.
It's a good way to go.
Social media, I should say this, let's put it this way, social media is going to be the best way to find the direct link in order to get to, you know, the website.
Go.
Of course. That's the idea, to redirect everyone back.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. Well, thank you very much.
Johnny's sleeping over here.
Johnny's taking a nap. It is really late.
It's only 3 a.m.
Super late. Yeah.
This is
Only
definitely
3
one of
a.m.
the later ones I've done, especially in 2020.
But it's fucking awesome.
I just want to
So thank you for having us.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you.
Yeah, this is
for
cool.
having us. Yeah.
This is awesome.
Thanks
the
for
pizza guy was a nice touch.
Hell yeah.
hanging with us.
No doubt. All right. Make sure you follow these guys on all the platforms, and have a good night.